previous, it can be completely different, just like the world ranking doesn't necessarily mean everything.
Yeah, well, you don't want to get complacent at any point against Navi. I think he's spot on. They're better in this tournament than they were before. And listen, G2 is at the phase where it doesn't matter who they play, they're going to play their own style. And it's up to the other team to adjust to them and figure out a way to beat them. No one has done that for a while now. And yeah, I agree, the #1 world ranking doesn't mean anything if they don't lift the trophy. I mean, so that's what it's all about.
So let's transition into talking about their opponents as well. You mentioned Perfecto already. Why is that, and why do you think he's not doing what you want him to do right now?
I think Perfecto's issue is that he's always been the man that within the perfect system, he's going to come to the correct conclusion. Whenever the round is being played accordingly and people are doing what they're supposed to do, then he will know how to close a round. But I think Navi, since there are a couple of weaknesses now, since there are a couple of issues, we'll talk about MPL for sure, we talk about the roles that have been swapping, I think he's a little bit lost. I think his blueprint, his protocol, his way of playing the game isn't working. He's frustrated. He's shown sign of frustration in Copenhagen. He was very adamant about it. And I think this could be an issue for Navi.
Well, these are also the players we're focusing on in our Colex players to watch, JKS and Perfecto.
If you know me, you know I love mirrors. Whenever I see one, I like to stop and flex, much like our Colex players to watch when in the server. He's Perfecto. No, that's his name, and he's a consistent player that Navi can always rely on. Perfecto by name, perfection by nature. This two-timer for Support Player of the Year is difficult to tilt unless facing the likes of G2. Playoffs have been secured, but this requires him to reach his highest form if Navi are to take that speed hack into the semi-finals. Next up, the man that never smiles, JKS. The M4A4 wielding Aussie has been finding his groove within the Samurai camp. Is a mouse wheel jumper flex? JKS has positioned himself as the true difference maker for his team. Surrounded by stars and becoming the guy to do whatever it takes to secure them the win, will it be another G2-0 against Navi this year? If looks could kill, the answer would be yes. Will our players to watch be capable of the heavy lifting? We'll find out who can really flex come game time.
Does he never smile? I don't know.
Sometimes when he wins.
I think I've seen it. But let's continue talking about Navi because I guess when you look at Navi, always you're going to, because of the pedigree for perfection that they have, no pun intended, you want to see when they get to that level. Because when they here, so far at IEM, they haven't dropped a beat, right? A 2-0 over Liquid, a 2-0 over Cloud9. So okay, maybe this performance isn't completely up to par, but we can't say that we have to be disappointed at Katowice so far.
No, we're not disappointed because I think the gravitas of the event makes it so that how can I say, their motivation to win is greater than the frustration about the mistakes. That's what they do. If we make a mistake, I don't care. I don't care we win this round. They have this warrior spirit. They didn't have it in Copenhagen, and I think that's what makes them heavily dangerous.
And arguably, they had the toughest 2 games out of any team that's played so far. I mean, yes, G2 had to play FaZe, but they got big in the first round. Navi got Cloud9, and then Liquid managed to make quick work out of both of them. I think it would be foolish to underestimate Navi and like say they won't make the playoffs. I mean, a team that has Simple, Electronic, and Bit, I'm never going to say they won't make the playoffs until they don't make the playoffs.
Well, I'm happy you mentioned them because actually they are freaking fired up right now. And there is a system, there is a routine when it comes to Navi winning titles, being extremely strong. That's these 3 players. Whenever they pop off, this is when you get to be scared of Navi. And in spite of the issues, in spite of the mistakes here and there, sure, the protocols aren't clear, but they are currently showing up. Simple, quiet in Copenhagen, back to left. Electronic, as a leader, actually leading the charge. Best stats in Navi right now. That's what scares me. They have their very long teeth right now, just ready to sink it in.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, people talk about Electronic, in-game leading, his individual performance. He was like the number 21 player of the year, you know, almost. He just was out of the top 20, and yes, he was higher before, but I think there's multiple reasons to that, and maybe his small drop-off of performance. I think in the end, if you can make the team work, that's the most important thing.
It absolutely is, and for them, they will want to make a mark in this match. They want to beat G2, of course, to show that this isn't going to be a trend that we're going to see all year. We're going to stop you in your tracks right now. But then they're going to have to be adaptations because they haven't succeeded yet. As we get into the video in just a second, where should they attack? Is it there that it starts? Because it's been the same maps.
No, I'm thinking maybe, you know, they don't have a lot of choice.
Yes.
They're not really a team that picks Ancient, right? Vertical's their ban, no overpass. They're not going to pick Anubis. Mirage. I feel like Mirage is the only way they could change it.
If they change, that's the issue. Because they brought in MPL, because they're still very green in this roster, I feel like they're limited tactically. They don't have a whole lot of weird map they can go for. Actually, they go for Inferno. That's what they've been doing all the time. No shenanigans when it comes to that. And Nuke, same 2 maps that they've played the last 2 best of 3s.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that you're feeling sort of cornered, right? That you don't have a lot of options, and that perhaps because you play them 2 times, you know exactly a way that you should play to change things up, and they get Mirage as the decider regardless. So yeah, but the way, you know, also G2, the way Nico's been playing, he's the banana guy on T and CT side, constantly finding those openings. And G2, the reason why they're so good is because the players are able to react quickly and they're playing well. So even if you counter them, Big had a great game plan against G2. Tactically, they were maybe 1 step ahead, but the players were so quick to react, and some small mistakes. If you make a small mistake, you give them a little bit of space, you know, they're going to run away with the round.
That's where you test the true quality of a player. When you do a series 3 times in a span of few weeks and you play the same maps. And Yanko is right on the money. It's not just about the game plan that you put forth. It's not just about the strategies or what your coach is going to tell you. It's about each player's ability in their own position to adapt on the fly to what's happening, to keep them guessing. And Nico can do it, and Nico will do it again.
That's why G2 are the favorites in this one, but Navi can give them a run for their money. It's for a spot in the semi-finals at the Spodek. Let's get into it with our casters.
Oh, what a dream team that is. Shox, Yanko, breaking it down with Matthew. I loved it. Thank you very much. Navi G2. The scene has been set perfectly. We got to hear from JKS ahead of this one, someone who's no stranger to the Katowice Grand Finals, and of course a long road to get there. But the playoffs secure. Time to find out whether it is the quarters or the semi.
Yeah, the stakes here, maybe not an elimination on the line, sure. We're going to focus in a little bit more on the details. Matthew and Yanko talking about the fact that they've played this so many times already this year. Well, last time round, G2 had a hyper-aggressive down the mid CT pistol. This time, 2 in boiler, 3 towards B. So the mind games and the change-ups beginning out the gates.
I liked what they were talking about. An ultimate test of a player and a team.
Sure, a meta within the matchup starts to form.
Yeah, the meta within the meta. Look at this one. Camouflaged behind the lamp. Nico looking to catch him off guard on their clear. Like such nuanced expectations of each other that you're looking to exploit.
I want to see how Julie's here at the bottom of this totem pole and a smoke. So keep this in mind if it is a B execute with the util in Navi's hands. 2 smokes, a molly and a decoy for good measure on Bit. We're at the 55-second mark. Expect this one to come in soon. Oh, Bit's actually past this boiler setup, so going to find a lot of room here over towards A.
Electronic comes a knock-in. Bit out into the balcony. That will force Hunter into the fight. And Electronic down and out. Contact on B. Nico gone early, and that's the smoke down, which is disrespected immediately. Honestly, though, the flash will repel the invaders back into the smoke, and loads 2 on the dual Berettas. Nice back from Bit. Go either way as they charge. He's racing the bomb carrier, just trying to round the corner. He hasn't gotten to safety. He's going to go down unless he can fight his way out. Good luck. Have fun. Perfecto gone.
Time's a problem here, 11 seconds. Bit with no chance.
He'd like a kill. And m0NESY will take another 4 from m0NESY early.
Okay, that's one way to kick things off. And well, speaking of kicking things off, you've got map number 1 here between the likes of Outsiders and Complexity. This one, map number 1, Anubis, went all the way to overtime. And there's Chiron, newest edition. Outsiders will pick up that first map. And this is for the last spot in the Spodek. Liquid taking down FaZe to secure the 5th. And, well, this would be for the 6th quarterfinal berth on the card here. No plant means no force buy for Na'Vi. Just a deagle in the hands of Simple. A couple of pesky P250s for Bit and Perfecto. And I'll just search here and see if anything gets offered up. But reflecting, I was going back and I was watching just the top-down view of this last matchup between the two of them on Inferno, just scrolling through quite quickly. And G2 always had so many different looks for openings. And even when they had the stack on the wrong side of the map, this is when the individuals would step up and get multi-kills. So I have a question, how many new looks can G2 continue to offer? And then the mind games start to build of, well, where does Na'Vi suspect G2 to be strong on that first gun round? Right? We've seen this map starting to trend more and more in the favor of the T side.
Makes that CT pistol all the more valuable.
Precisely. And a gimme like this, a round that G2 should be converting with very low investment. Just this Deagle here, but it is the big man. It is the GOAT. It is simple. Having a look.
And up against m0NESY. Perfect. That's why you put the M4 on his hands. He opens the round, and it is Perfecto with one back. G2 happy with that one. No harm, no foul. 2-0 out of the gates.
Okay, well, no AWP available for m0NESY just yet. We're way too early on in those financial decisions. Not enough accrued, but JKS will hook him back up with that drop silenced M4. We've got the rifles equipped now for Na'Vi, but looking to draw a little bit of early blood here. Simple to start things off with a Deagle.
Let's have a look. Okay, dispatching 3 straight out, I say, as Hunter drops nades and runs back. Okay, well, what do I know?
They're not fighting for banana control here. Just a deep mid smoke. Standard play. m0NESY using the inclusion right there to try and find a little bit of a look for a freebie. They're mollied under the porch for now, but no pressure really applied up mid. It's Halls with 2, MPO and Bit, the duo.
Quite late to be mantling that boost, but safely set up now in their crossfire. Look how many bodies are here. NPL's going to get a rude awakening when he rounds that corner. Still gets the headshot. It's JKS that's farming up. A triple quad kill from JKS into the first gun round. He is definitely here and definitely delivering.
Oh, run and hide, Perfecto. Think he's going to be saving already. Found himself a extra piece of utility. Sure, bomb on his back. And yeah, okay. Well, he thinks better of that early call. It might be a look and see what he can find. Nico would love to get himself a rifle upgrade as they still have this full mid lockdown, but they've foregone the B bomb site. So I said save. Let's see just how far Perfecto can get here. He can waltz on in, get the bomb down, smoke off towards CT, reposition, and this man, usually fantastic in the clutch.
It's true, there is a bit of a conversation to be had about Perfecto's capacity to close, but just by virtue of not knowing, the site has been wide open. He will throw the smoke down. That's going to maybe quicken the pace of Nico's flank. And that bomb plant we were discussing, perhaps no longer a possibility. As here they come, and Perfecto, yeah, he's going to try and plant, perhaps to fake it out. Didn't quite get the sound. And Nico collects. Very happy with that one. JKS early on, laying down the law here. They come to test his sight. He's got Hunter and m0NESY, and he only needs himself. Multi-kill madness.
I will just want to note I appreciate Yanko kind of face-checking Maniac on the desk there. Justin has been doing this for an awfully long time, right? Let's not forget, this kid was the star player of Renegades and 100 Thieves, a team that made it to the semi-final of a major back in 2019. Let's not act like he doesn't have the ability. This kid's got it. It's just, let's say, some interesting teammates for a period of time that maybe took away any of that star power, but turning it back on a G2, they believe, and so does he.
Yeah, it's really cool to see the team as a whole definitely growing into the whole stack, the whole roster. I think faith in Hooksy's been restored and built. I think the start of the year was huge for them. We always knew Hunter and Nico had the synergy, but in order to have all 5 on that same page, it makes them look so scary. I mean, the stats they were throwing out on the desk, I mean, come on. It's a very short list of teams that have done and had runs like G2 are having right now.
Yeah, 9 series in a row, 15 map wins in a row. Looking to make that 16 here on Inferno. Then we can talk about their nuke streak as well. You have to go to the legendary teams like the Astralises, the NIPs to look at squads who have been posting massive streaks of rounds. G2 looking to become one of those names. They clean this up with ease. All 5 stand alive, and this is a spotless start from G2.
Man, they look so deadly.
They're looking very confident. I think that's one of the keys, right? Like you can have good players, and if they're not confident, they won't be making the correct duels. And you do have to take risks eventually in Counter-Strike. We talk about minimizing mistakes, but it's also about finding the gap to make that play, which, if you die, would be considered a mistake. But if you get that 4K, if you make that impactful 2 kills, get that bomb down, find that entry through the molly, that can change the shape of the round. And, well, speaking of changing the shape of the round, it's Blade on the mic, first timeout.
Yeah, and I think both of these teams, there's a parallel to be drawn as well in terms of the potency and necessity for scouting talent. Bit, remember we talked about their incredible find and the fact that he was winning a major in his rookie year, and then you've got m0NESY, G2, really backing that horse without a single official played. They just knew he had something special. 0 officials, and you're dropping 6 figures and then some on a 16-year-old.
It's paid off, hasn't it? It is a huge risk, but to see this working, and I suppose when you come from the stable of Na'Vi, from Blade & Co., and now you see another one of those new names, MPL, just needs to be a safe pair of hands for this team. You got Star Power alongside, flashed off, and Hunter still going to make the kill. So much confidence to take that fight down mid when the AWP was flashed off, and still ready for the second mid duel is m0NESY, AWP trained and at the ready. Oh, and the AWP has been signaled to start rotating back over here. m0NESY called to help out Nico and HooXi on B. They do have the number advantage, so I'd be curious to see how much more space they're looking to take here.
Yeah, flash can be thrown at any time. Molly, actually, it looked like Nico was considering going for the element of surprise behind that flame. Thinks twice. Simple and perfecto. Isolated now into a one-on-one, and m0NESY provides as well. Simple, desperate to trade into the scope. And G2, flawless.
Oof, and they've been stalled out by their own utility here. Bit understood he needed to try and take some space. They know where the AWP is, but that was their porch side molly. They were just trying to get mid-control while these two picks came in. So the bodies hit the deck, the util flies out, and the round with 40 seconds left is looking very difficult here. Two of the younger names in the server today. And it doesn't look like they're going to leer too much more forward here. And, well, this time I think I can confidently say it will be the save.
But G2, 2-0ing Na'Vi consistently, as we've brought up on the desk. You've got FaZe who've not been able to take a map, Vitality taking 1 map. I mean, all of these names, these big names, unable to topple the Samurai.
And to think, you know, all the memes last year around HooXi, like you could look at how troubled the team was, not making the major. That feels like a lifetime ago at this point. The pieces, they're all firing here. But I do want to echo the sentiments of Yanko as well. A team with Simple and Electronic, and Bit in that conversation, Perfecto when he's in firing form, how can you rule them out of anything? These guys, miracle workers in the past, absolute beasts of individuals, and they come from a team that we know has a strong coach and system. Their approach to the game here, you just have to go back to 2020. When this team won here in Katowice, sure, the world was falling apart. However, they picked the trophy up over G2 in that final, a quick 3-0 shutout. And there have been some woes for G2, especially Nico in grand finals at Katowice, so I'm sure they'd love to get themselves straight off to a semi-final, make things a little bit easier.
It's just a hop, skip, and a jump to the trophy lift at that point.
Quite literally only 5 maps.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought you were going to say quite literally about 25 meters. Once you're in the SPO deck, it's not far for the trophy.
They keep making that walkway longer and longer. Give you more time to savor that moment. But here's the 2 saved AKs and a couple of upgrades around it. Will there be an overstep here from G2? Deep banana control taken by HooXi.
m0NESY.
Yeah, Barrel will be spotted and dead. Great shot from Bit.
Brilliant. Some young gun action. Bit catches the rotation back in from alongside. And in that very moment, the whole of Na'Vi start to lean towards that bloodshed. Like sharks. Starting to circle now.
Brave from Nico there with the AK. Spamming through. They knew exactly where that was coming from. Pretty tight doorway as well.
JKS, I mean, brilliant in this first test. This is going to be harder. Flashes in, and NPL takes him down. Hiding in the side is Hunter. So many Na'Vi members. They clear their corners. The frag comes through, and a flawless response. This was on a conservative buy. Couple of rifles, sure. Bit, NPL.
Yeah, they make the most of the save right there. The fact that both of them are able to get picks on those saved AKs, great. This is why teams do it, right? And Simple gets himself a free AWP. Yet to frag short, but he'll take that upgrade right there. And HooXi, well, just has to sit back and watch here as the bomb planted. 5-on-1 situation. And we'll call that Na'Vi drawing first blood here in map number 1. Their choice of Inferno. And good to see, right, that they can do it on these lighter buys. This is a trademark of Na'Vi over the years. a team that, you know, you just have a couple of guns thrown into the mix and they can make that magic happen. And it didn't have to be through simple, so that's a positive too.
That's true, yeah. A bit nice contribution, taking down m0NESY, and it does seem like he just overlooked that. I think the pace by which he was making that crawl was quite forward.
Yeah, when I was watching back on I was watching on csgo, just scrubbing through it, I was taking a bit of a gander thinking, okay, Apartments does feel like a place that they could try and apply a lot of pressure here because JKS gets left with m0NESY or Hunter in certain setups there, and they're focused more on locking down mid and boiler than Apartments. They're more worried about Apartments if they think it's going to be, you know, an apps explode with the pistols. So it could be a pressure point that Bit and MPO want to continue to here to try and push. But it was m0NESY they found this time round. No timeout taken from G2. They understand this happens, but we'll get back into the buys here. Another one of those, and then G2 will have to start questioning their purchasing power.
It's not that I don't love seeing Calf get those frags, but Jay, we can sanitize those boys for next time. NPL. They'll be joining Bit on his adventures towards the Apartments, and it will be a little less manned by the defense to start. In fact, taking that up towards the B side early. m0NESY is a demon around this half wall. Like, just peek logs and jump half wall at your own peril. That's all I'm saying. This man will exploit any mistake you make. Nico calling for that flash now. He can hear them coming. Perfecto on the clear. Flash is in. Perfecto turns, but the frag comes through, and Simple down 2. We've seen it before. It's like Groundhog Day. 2 up, isolated, and m0NESY catches Simple on the attempted trade.
I thought Nico was dead every day of the week right there. Can't believe he got away with that. But back to Apartments, back to the crawl from Bit. JK's under pressure, flashed again and gone. Bit's found them space here.
There's a lot of space in there. Scarpering into the site. HooXi saves them from a red face. Had that been the multi-kill, this round would have a very different taste. Oh, Electronic eats the flash, manages to get himself back into the apps, but you have to do something crazy, and HooXi's the one to stop it before things could spiral. Double from HooXi in that round.
Yeah, good stuff right there. You could see them screaming through that smoke, just understanding the situation. That could have gone either way. A 50-50 on the push. Again, that Apartments pressure coming into play. JKS blind once more. Couldn't see a single thing. And yeah, Bit did get 2, but needed the triple there. Too much to ask in this situation. Electronic down to HooXi. Another timeout called, again by Na'Vi. So 2 burnt within the first 7 rounds of play.
Must be 2 very different things when you're kind of sitting there in your team room discussing, especially a series that you're so familiar with. You've had so many reps of, you've got so much tape to watch, and of course game experience you have under your belt. And then you get into the server, and sometimes it doesn't. I'm sure it doesn't match your expectation.
Well, this is there's a lot of things like for these boys, probably not the case. But matches when you are getting blown over, the rounds feel like they've gone by so quick. Especially if you're not getting any kills, you don't feel like you've done anything. You haven't been able to go through any mental steps, and you're getting no dopamine from those frags coming through to help your boys win the rounds. But there's also that meta within the meta that's built between these teams. So right now, where HooXi is deciding to call the strength of these CT defenses is working wonders against Na'Vi. So they're chasing their tail. They feel that they have to mix things up. And HooXi again, hyper-aggressive down Banana, a couple of light tags. And he's ushered them away.
Nice nade damage.
Oof, if that one followed through at the same time, could have been the frag. And aggression likely here. 3 players postured deep Banana. Nico's starting to rotate back now.
I really do love it when you see the team that didn't call the timeout throw something aggressive off the back of it. It seems like it's becoming more and more vogue that is the response. You kind of throw that in the bin. You know, maybe you can't execute it if you're forced to extinguish a molly and you lose a player early. Towards middle they go, denying that info, and of course it's in no one's home. Nico, Hunter, and JKS all towards this side of the map. It's Nico on long side. Standoff with Electronic. That'll leave long locked. I say locked. Can walk through. Nico, though, housekeeping. And Bit from the apps. 30 seconds. These smokes are up. It feels like it's going to have to be one of these signature Na'Vi late finishes. Oh, my God. Nico's taking some real risks. Hoping to be overlooked, well held. Simple protects, saves Electronic, and now the bodies are dropping 20 seconds. Feels like a lifetime though. They got all the time in the world as the round falls into place and G2 fall flat.
Even with all the info right there, G2 knew there was no presence down Banana. They had HooXi pushed, they had m0NESY on the AWP. 3 players over towards A. They tried to negate that pressure. Nico trying to join the pack, playing through the fade of the smoke, but Na'Vi just won fights everywhere. So really good stuff for MPL. We really want to keep watch on him, right? It's not that this kid needs to be a star, but impact rounds like this, 2 kills on the way in. Fantastic work. And Na'Vi to grab their second. And yeah, sure, you're sitting here, you're thinking, okay, well, they're having to work hard for these. But when you're keeping all 5 alive, that's great. And then you think the other round was 2 saves AKs, and MPL had impact in that round as well. That's a real positive.
Yeah. I mean, in my personal standpoint, I think NPL is in the most unenviable position you could possibly be as a... I mean, sure, it's exciting to be representing Na'Vi. It's amazing to be paid to play the game you've been chasing. And a lot of people would bite your hand off to have the opportunity. It's just, when I say unenviable, I mean it from the sense that...
There's expectation.
There's so much expectation. Like, look what Bit did, you know? The bar's been set pretty bloody high. And every time, and we saw it, we know it exists, that, you know, Na'Vi are not going to be holding your hand through this. There will be expectations of you, and they'll let you know when it's not met.
Yeah, and I think that Blade, more tape he gets to help MPL, right, with that decision tree. Hold up, fast banana here, a bit more aggression.
Fast.
Lots of util used. Nico still wants to fight. Flashed off for now.
Okay, but back on, the reaggress. Nico so consistently destroys upon arrival Na'Vi twice. They've fallen and collapsed at Nico's hands here on Banana. He's got more on the cards. Okay, Nico farming up Na'Vi. He's in the Combine Harvester, just chugging along. Bit will put him down. I don't blame him for going for more at that point, but perhaps his teammates will if things do go awry. It's just Simple and Bit.
Can't get back now. Modesty's watching mid. JKS in second mid here, so they're going to have to fight their way forward.
JKS is locking it down. I like this. Simple usually quite wise to that late flank T steps. Modesty spots out one, and JKS, considering his options, he should have info to protect Modesty here. And a free frag. Simple trades, a nice headshot, but needs a whole lot more. Fake the jump up. Does Modesty bite the page? Don't think so. Hooksy, good 4 at the frag. 7 already. And we were just discussing T-sides starting to look quite dominant on Inferno. G2 didn't get the memo.
Yeah, and I'm curious right now about the mind games of this, because every time Na'Vi have tried to go on B, it doesn't matter about the pace. They've been picked apart here. Monasty's AWP, now Nico on the rifle just locking them down. They've had success in the 2 rounds they've won over towards the A side of the map here. So you can sit here and go, okay, well, it seems simple, right? We should just go over towards A a little bit more. Let's not brave all the flames and fights. Yeah, it's not as easy as that, because now Hooksy can call ahead of you. He can start 3 players over towards A instead of having the 3-man standard B lane for banana control. Keep Monasty's AWP looking for picks towards boiler, halls, and mid. So this is the mind games they're going to start playing into this here. And yeah, you understand why Perfecto needs to keep going through the paces. Get this control. Right, even though they consistently fight for it, we need it. This is a key part of the map.
Nice change up. So now the flash and the retake utility's been dropped instead. Can G2 weather another attempted Na'Vi fight for banana? Flash is good, and they retake control quite aggressively, spotted out on the boost.
You know he's pinned here. They're going to try and isolate the sandbag player.
Go badly. And Hooksy is going to go down. Attempted trade. Nico only the 1. Advantage Na'Vi. Simple, a little hamstrung, down to 28, and Hunter's going to bury himself deep into the site. Now, G2 will be wise to the names and the positions. All it takes is a touch of the scoreboard. No Bit still alive.
And G2 are flying blind here as well. They're passive on mid. Hunter calling out util right now over towards B. This is where individuals on G2 will need to step up with a multi-kill, or this round will be very, very difficult. JKS over towards that short side on the balcony. Modesty towards long with the AWP, and Hunter trying to stall out this B play. It's so many different fights on so many different fronts, and they don't know when Na'Vi is going to hit just yet. But that decision, 25 seconds, will have to come in soon.
He's the one with the smoke as well for the second smoke of the set. Simple smoke CT, Bit probably towards the coffins, and we are off with 14 seconds left. Hunter, if he could just disrupt a multi-kill as Chad has requested, Na'Vi will collapse here, and now he's been found out. The bomb's going down. He can't do anything about it. Na'Vi, smooth sailing. That clock is nothing. And Simple wants to take that AWP away. Monasty's going to fight tooth and nail to hold on to it as he does hit the quick scope and starts to moonwalk out of the site.
Yeah, see, it was all on Hunter there to at least get a kill or 2, right? And Perfecto got that blind. I think if Hunter had stayed tucked the entire time and the flashes had come through from Modesty, then he could have had the jump on them. There wasn't enough time to go for that deep clear, but they knew they could ward off and defend the plant from those deeper angles. So well handled from Na'Vi here.
So in that scenario, even though it is, you know, so tempting when you're seeing 6 seconds and you hear the plant, you're suggesting maybe play for the potential retake, an element of surprise?
Yeah, well, they're going to expect something, right? If you run into the site, you don't see anybody. He's either behind coffins, on the boost behind CT, or in the back of that site, right? So they knew the options that were available to Hunter here, and at that point, it's protect Mr. President, right? Defend this bomb. It has to go down. When you play counter, look, completely blind. That's m0NESY's flash that's come through from CT spawn, so great stuff from Perfecto here to pull this one off. Important kill. It doesn't seem like a whole lot, but it just secures that round. Removes an awful lot of pressure and pushes G2 now into just the 2 saved rifles and a couple of upgraded pistols here. It's going to be on the likes of m0NESY and JKS to find some impact with these, and more so on the young AWPer. He can scare them away from Banana with 1 kill on the AWP here, right? If he gets that frag, even if he just does some damage, it might make them investigate. Hold up. JKS over the smoke, not being given anything just yet, but peering out wider and wider. Did he spot the barrel? Well, yeah, that's easy.
Brilliant find. G2 got all of these tricks up their sleeve. There's a dialogue going on right now as to whether or not that means Na'Vi are coming A or B. Smoke's up, reaction's good. Bomb's on its way too. Just walking in, happy to take these fights. There's a lot of bodies around here.
Looks he's screwed, they know where he is.
Yeah, and Hunter hard pressed to find damage. How does he get one on the CZ? Can't scavenge the weapon, but a deagle headshot from Nico does manage to take down Simple, albeit in 2. And now Perfecto. Hard to find a way in. A recovery from G2. A boost, a double from JKS, finding the second as well. And I think Nico's got the flank, the dankest of flanks. Perfecto going wide, and bang! The round is theirs, and sick round indeed.
That's with the AWP removed from the play, right? He was over
nothing.
towards B. So it's the fact that they can get so much done here. And this was one of the keys when I watched back that game, is all the different opening moves for picks that G2 have, right? The individuals multi-kills are great, but JKS with a boost here, right? They've had Hunter just pick down mid before, m0NESY looking for fights all over the map, different variations. And the question, maybe not in this map right now, is when are G2 going to run out of that gas to have all of those variations? Because communication has to be on point, right, to be able to pull off those moves. Situational awareness and aggression.
Love it. Hooksy commanding his troops to go for a disrespectful charge. Straight into the guts of Na'Vi. NPL all the way down second mid. Can't quite believe his luck. Just mowed down. Bit back onto JKS. Good find the T apartments, but the bloodshed continues as Hunter's holding W. Straight towards T-Abs. Pulls the ripcord after getting electronic. No, I don't blame him, but Nico, he's trying to burrow behind enemy lines. In the chicken pit. Can sweep second mid, call it clear, and surely Hooksy's going to want to set m0NESY up for this.
There's no way
so
Na'Vi can go back. They have to go B. There's just no way they can go back towards A. There's too many unknowns.
And m0NESY's taking this angle because, oh, he doesn't miss. The flash strikes for 13. And Na'Vi's hopes dwindle. He's just got those reaction speed tests. Passes them every
What is going
time
on?
with
It looks like
flying colours.
deathmatch.
It doesn't look like we're still in the warm-up right now. Nico just tickled down to 23. Will be run down, but Perfecto just taking weapons away at this point. Jump straight into Hunter. Lovely change of pace. You were just talking about running out of gas. They got full gas. Foot on the pedal. Pedal to the metal. And 9 secured. What a charge. You don't see fights like this. At 1 minute 33, you do not see fights like that. That is a ridiculous one considering how little Simple gave. And yeah, Nico just tapping heads as well.
Yeah, beautiful rounds here. And that's obviously choreographed. That's a move. That's something that they've worked on here. And they pull it out. And they're just battering Na'Vi. Like, Na'Vi are having a really difficult time dealing with this. If you can't just get your defaults going, you can't force the CTs to be passive, you can have such a rough time. And again, we just have to return to the proactive nature of G2. A different look once more. 3 towards top banana. m0NESY and JKS dealing with A while they fortify that B bomb site, and I think taking a bit of a mental timeout on Na'Vi right now. You can see just allowing all this early utility to be burnt through.
JKS has got the bomb delivered. Express, simple delivery.
I don't think he can quite believe that either. Guys, Simple just brought us a gift. Shall we lock this one down? Hunter says yes. I'll take a second smoke. Thank you very much.
Now Nico knows his role has changed. Survive and report.
I don't quite believe just how dynamic they're able to be here. It almost feels like a fever dream. Are we sure this is G2?
This is new G2. 2023, a different year and a different breed. Double peek, gets the one, bomb, still a battle for Bit. Good luck, and dead. Hunter catches him through the walls, up to 10. I mean, we were just talking about how T-sides have been running away and having an absolute whale of a time on Inferno, but not here, not with Na'Vi G2.
We know the recipe in modern Counter-Strike if you want to be the best team in the world. FaZe showed us that this time last year, right? When they went on, they won Katowice, they won Cologne, they won the Major, right? They won the big ones. And to do that, they needed 4 stars, right? It wasn't just 3, it wasn't just 2, they needed 4 stars and an in-game leader who could also step up and contribute. And G2 have found that recipe here. JKS can't just be your average support player, right? He needs to be a star player coming in clutch. That's why the reference about Perfecto, right? We know how much impact this kid can have. Well, you need to be able to replicate that. You've got Nico, sharp as attack. Hunter can do absolutely everything and more. This guy, very pliable. And Monacy, a star on the AWP. But Hooksy now, he's only got 6 kills, but the shots he's hit have been great. His aim looking on point here too.
Can't believe we didn't think of this before, Chad. Why have 1-star player when you can have 5?
Damn.
Giga Chad and 4 absolute Rocketeers, superstars in their own right. We are ready to see if 12-3 is really a potential reality.
Well, right now you can see... Oh, I thought they were trying to fortify Hooksy back over towards A here. He dropped all his Yuto and he's returning for a moment. So Nico just trying to ward them off towards the top of Banana, scooping up... Yeah, there you go. Any residuals. It was actually Hooksy just... he's a delivery surface right now, so back and forth from spawn.
Inspired by Simple.
And now they're playing 4 top mid here. So as we mentioned, 2 of the 3 rounds that Na'Vi have won have been over towards that A site, only 1 of them over towards B, and that was in the final 6 seconds with that bomb going down.
It's crazy. I think there's 2 more smokes by Nico, so he can just keep that locked.
Such a strong mid hold here. Both boosts under the balcony.
Yep, you just can't... This is... We've seen how this goes. We've seen it twice, how this goes. They're going to try it again. Can they find a different result? Na'Vi jumping in to the jaws of G2, and it's Bit to try and be the change-up. It's just 1 from the balcony. Perfecto got low. Smoke to try and grab the bomb. Nice parkour, evades the nade and rounds the corner. Still though, they are close. Multi-potential as he gets the first, and still the pressure's on him. By virtue of the roll, CTs will likely... Oh, fade JKS! The ball's on this lad.
Yeah, that's the key right there. That was a 1v3 where they were offering up 1v1s. That's definitely not what you do. They're just playing such confident Counter-Strike right now, and you can understand why. 11-3. This is a blistering hot start here from GT. Looking to replicate the success they've had against Na'Vi all year. Looking to replicate the success they have had all year. Looking to extend that 15 map streak to 16.
Honestly, I think at this point, Na'Vi must be feeling like they're a bit crazy, like a bit insane. I mean, the definition of insanity, expecting a different result while doing the same thing. Every time you find yourself up mid, it's the same result.
G2 feels strong everywhere.
Yeah, it feels like they've got a couple of extra players running around, throwing the nades, spamming the smokes. They're everywhere and nowhere at the same time. This is the setup that's even more notorious. Monacy and Nico, can they rumble on the fade? Monacy eyes of a hawk and AWP as well. Gone in a flash is Electronic. Nico builds off. It's been very repetitive for Electronic. The poor guy has not been able to catch a break on this first half.
Well, I think they know Bit. Yeah, he did. So they now know Bit is Ender Hall. So,
even the chickens are on G2's side.
Yeah, that's one way to get a whole boatload of free information.
Yeah, okay, Lurk Smoke. Onto the hay bales with you and JKS. Everyone, nope, guessing by what we've seen, he's coming straight into the fight. Bit works it out, finds the first. Maybe more to be said here. Hunter known now on the default over the smoke. Bit will prowl, finds another. Being the hero for Na'Vi. There's a reminder of what he's capable. A triple to get Na'Vi into the A site.
G2 have to go for this last round here in the first half of play. Nico and Hooksy on the retake. 2 on 3 situation. Bomb's just gone down. And divide and conquer.
Yeah, coming in from 2 different angles of assault. Not really slowing down for anyone here. Bad flash, he's still cooking. Up short. Smoke will enable a bit of a walk as well. Nico's crawling through. Bomb half gone, Kit's present, and that's Hooksy with another frag. Na'Vi are going to absolutely pull their hair out. If they go down to Hooksy getting all the kills, Nico closes. And that's 12. 12 to 3, a 2v3 to take us there.
What a
Madness.
commanding half this has been from G2 here. Phenomenal, seeing smiles on the faces. They are sailing to victory on Na'Vi's map choice. We're heading into a break, but don't go anywhere. This could be a quick one.
Yep. Coming close. Hi, there. 3. 2 more, 2 more.
Wait, hide.
2.
Cannot hide.
Coming 3.
4.
Nice.
I'm running
One
long.
Nissan. Short.
Yeah, sure. I'm playing side, okay? He has to come up and
I'm
peek
picking
on me.
library, you guys, okay?
He's still here.
He's still short, yeah?
Yeah, unless he's walking around the boiler.
I'm going around. I'm holding left side of side, okay?
Okay.
Not boiler, he's not boiler, just. You can cross it, yeah? Go back
I'm
to
holding the
level.
bomb. I have
He can go long.
Don't say
Ilya.
short. Okay. One here? Short.
I'll kill him.
He's up short. Yeah.
Nice! Sick round, guys. Good job.
Nice. Nice right.
Yep.
Coming close.
So they save one gun.
James the Redeemer.
Yeah.
So saw how he was posed just there?
No, I was looking at the kills that we didn't see. But Complexity at least can buy up around it. Or was he doing the double fist bump where he puts
He was
both
doing
his
the double
arms
fist
out?
bump?
Yeah. He puts them out with like hands up and lets people just slap him, doesn't he, usually?
Oh, dude, I can't get over how that feels like, you know, that's rough. They try to run through the dumpster smoke. It's a move that for me was always really associated with the current Cloud9 team. They love that on overpass, coming through the dumpster smoke, trying to use it against them. But coupled with that flash from the outsiders and the pistols, feeling like they had nothing to lose, really, already spilling up into the site. It was one step too far. Now the money is on the line for Complexity, and at this point, outsiders are on the verge of putting up a great T-side already. They win this round and go 6-3 up. There's nothing for Complexity in the next.
This is just such an annoying T-side to play against because so many of your options as CT are aggressive moves, right? Especially on A, like taking mid with Molotov, climbing up party, doing like double long pushes. But Outsiders are the perfect team to remedy this. They are so late at even getting out into playground, for example. Fang wide in connector and Flip beats him to the punch. Cole really want to force these early kills, but Outsiders will not give them the satisfaction. And a round, again, where Halzak is solo A, gives a huge gap. And of course, James managed to find it. Moving all the way up long right now. There was a flash thrown for Fame. So Halzak knows they're up long, but ooh. He saw a player. And he didn't want to move away, not yet. Molly makes him decide, and he commits to it. Nice kill for Halzak. Got to care long, though. Still getting played with as they drop back down into B. JT gets that kill, and that's going to change the game as well. Fame is so far away. Kick it to Out Monster all on his own. He knows they're short, but does he know about the pit? Doesn't matter.
This is something quite special, a spectacle to behold, and I don't know how often this will happen. I mean, we know G2 are indomitable right now. We've talked about their records, the desk have outlined it, and Chad has laid it down, and this is becoming a bit of a problem for Na'Vi, a team that seems to have their number, and I mean, they have every team's number right now. G2 looking hot to trot. T, well, they don't need many. 40 rounds after a defense like no other. 12 in the bank. Electronic a single frag.
They say seeing is believing. I don't know if I believe this at all. Still, the 1x bet odds, yeah, they definitely do. Blown out in G2's favor, understandably so.
Want to add something new for me.
And you spoke about Electronic having a rough time of things. Simple as well. He's only got 4 kills to his name. It was Bit, the only one who was really finding too much impact here. MPL had a couple of rounds where he got a kill or two to help them get up to this tiny haul of 3 rounds. This is going to be a B execute. Now, last time they played, Na'Vi only had 1 B defender. They were playing retake.
He's holding a decoy, Chad.
Okay, well, that's going to try and bait out any reactive utility here from MPL.
Oh, not falling for it. No, no, no. A nice attempt. You can see MPL's already got his smoke cocked. Pin pulled. G2. With the Fnatic smoke, Molotov Cough is a different variation to try and take this B site. They're going to try and fight Ruins, run him down. Odyssey charging in, losing a lot of health as he does actually catch the nade. NPL defends his honor. Catches one back. Perfecto good onto Hunter. Electronic with the Julies. Oh, and they do get the bomb down. Damage inflicted onto Hoopsie. They will run him down. And he's still got 11 bullets to spare. No problem. Na'Vi remind us that this is a 2-horse race.
Yeah, and Perfecto there with a bit of a grin on the face. That's a good one to pick up. A nice little move there from G2, but counted every single step of the way. So great work for Na'Vi dealing with that. And I think it's important as well for Electron to get a couple kills. Right, we saw him against Liquid just the other day, right, when they qualified. It was an overtime matchup on Anubis, and he was loving it, right? Had a choice word or two for Yakinda over the fence. But he was getting fired up, extremely animated. And here, well, he's been animated on the other end of the spectrum. Frustration boiling over, represented by 1 kill within that first half of play, and this is going to feel good because if you're in-game leader, if he's having a hard time fragging, especially an impactful in-game leader like somebody like Electronic, it affects the whole team, right? He's definitely not trying to, but if you're feeling the game as someone who's entering, taking space, making the calls, it makes everybody else's life a little bit easier.
Just ask Hoopsie. As you can see, he's actually doing exactly what you've just described. Taking some initiative, taking some space. Calls for the flash and calls it clear. Sandbag's still uncertain. You can see the complexion of this buy from G2. It's a jumble sale of different weapons, and Nico, his deagle, is deadly.
They needed to send him forward first in this fashion to draw out that smoke. And they have to probably draw out a few other bits of utility as well before G2 try and finish onto a site, because they only really have enough to go for 1 clean execute. 3 smokes, 2 mollies, a bunch of flashes. And the more that they can draw out here early, and there's another one, the better opportunity they'll have of turning this into a firefight where, yeah, Na'Vi still have the better of it. That's a nice little find here from MC. Smoke, molly, and a HE. Who's going to go scoop that up? Nobody from Na'Vi seems to be moving over just yet. But speaking of moving, Nico, he's searching right now.
Yeah, and he's the kind of player that can clear a site with just the sidearm. Perfecto at full M4, Kevlar vest, and sound will be heard, but in retreat. Now pressure towards the A side of things. A lot for long, smokes will bloom, and Hoopsie can continue to try and forge a path into this A side. The setup is clean. Na'Vi counting on NPL. Good on the MP9. A good setup, simple. Shuts down another. With only 15 seconds left, you've got to run to their death, or perhaps not. Nico with another. Suddenly G2 in the conversation, only for a moment, as we do see that time ticking and headshots being hit. Nico goes down. NPL, another impactful round from him. We're going to keep tabs on that. A confident NPL going to be making a big splash for Na'Vi.
Yeah, and I think he might not be the flashiest or at the top of the server or anything along those lines, but you need to give credit where it is due, right? This kid getting the call-up from the academy team was brought in just to play a couple of maps with SDY. They were rotating through the 2 of those players. We've seen that before with the Flamey and Bit experiment all those years ago. And now he's been brought in full-time. So for him, his brain's like a sponge, exponentially learning going on, and the better he looks in situational Counter-Strike,
here we go.
the faith we can have.
It's going to feel good. This is going to feel real good as Electronic taking a nice jump up the scoreboard as he's getting himself $600 a pop and an ace added to the list of Katowice. Not even a smile on his face, but a round in the bank for Na'Vi.
And it is great, up to almost 7K there. So the AWP available for Simple here if they would like to bring it out within the early stages. But he's really turned things around. Sure, it's eco bashing. Someone's going to get him. Why not Electronic?
Yeah, and that's also one of the perks of an in-game leader. You know, you can set yourself up for a couple of those, and it is also a necessity, of course. You'd rather see the SMG get it than the rifle. And still some SMGs. I thought we might be seeing some upgrades, but no greed here.
That's the 15th ace of the group stage. That doesn't include the play-ins, where we definitely had a couple as well. So quite a few for a compilation for any of those movie makers at home.
Let's see. Our first taste of G2 on the guns, and oh my god, a well-placed jump from Electronic, and he just keeps running down Nico. The spray Hard to escape. Nico down.
That one probably feels better than the full eco ace because just how cheeky it was and the name that you've taken out of the server here. Gonna have to sit and watch for the next minute and 14 seconds as Na'Vi should be able to secure this number advantage on the bonus round. Great conversation starter for a comeback.
Yeah, not one to be ruled out. Discussion's been had about matchup specific and all the nuances that come with it. NPL spots out the pressure towards short. Falling on balcony as Hooksy continues to show face towards B. It's leaving heads scratched at Na'Vi despite that numbers advantage. Simple got nothing to report on mid, which is valuable information at this time and stage.
If they execute B right now, Perfecto has held onto a smoke, and guess what? Well, the man you just mentioned starting to get a move on for this rotation. They're not going to block with the smoke. They're going to create a wall at the back of the site for Perfecto to play around here. Well timed.
See if Hunter can get anything done. Already getting a lot of damage through the smoke. Electronic will finish the job now. Up to 10 as he ascends, and more from Electronic. That MP9 has earned him thousands upon thousands, as well as a 7th. You talk about grounds for a comeback, a clean one like that from Na'Vi. Add that to the list.
That's beautiful there, and I love this defensive smoke back of the site when they're playing with multiple members here. This is the opener, and Nico blind, dinked. He didn't even know what happened. Where the hell did that come from? Electronic just being a buzzard in Banana, and such an annoyance here on the boost. Perfecto dropping the smoke towards the back of the site. That can even be used with one-way variation. So, of course, the attention of G2 is glued, trying to look for that fight, and Electronic profits. So this is Na'Vi. A very strong case on this CT side.
Shut out in our opening.
This is an A-set piece being lined up here from G2. You can see them just jigging the util around. The fact that they've upgraded with these pistols, with this utility, it's got intent. And you like to have a pocket strat like this to pull out in a moment when the economy's not feeling fine.
We get to see how Na'Vi adapt to this one. How do they react? Not sure that's the smoke he was aiming for. Perhaps it's enough. They get them out the door. Now they just get to find a way in. Hunter onto NPL.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, and Hooksy onto Simple. Okay. G2 just walk in.
Waltzing up mid, taking the space, hitting the shots, and forcing Na'Vi, who are looking brilliant out the gates. Well, namely, Electronic looking brilliant out the gates of this second half. 11 kills already. And he didn't even get a chance to be in this play. Well, that pocket strat couldn't have worked any better.
No, that's perfect. That's flawless. And what we talked about before.
Come on now, Hooksy. P250 taking that fight.
Be reasonable.
You know where they are. You can call the boys over. You don't need to overextend on your own. He will. Electronic does grab another.
But we saw Na'Vi win one of those, and now G2 match it.
Yeah, this was a bit nicer put together, I would say. Oh, warding them off for now. JKS can... Well, he's run in with the Tech 9, but they'll hold on to the 2 rifles here, Na'Vi. And Electronic, with all that extra cash, right, he can now drop 2 guns if he would like, and he doesn't even need to because his teammates have more than enough money here. But that was wild, right? That mid-sight smoke that came out, the fact that Hunter just gets that opening, felt absolutely free. Here it is, MPO trying to transition into sight. JKS grabs one as well, these Tech 9s. Crisp stuff here.
Yeah, I mean, if you're hitting the first bullet, it's a damn good pistol. Demonstrated by G2. Okay, 13, a bit of a robbery from the G2 Samurai. Seems like G2 would like to ask initial questions of B.
Ooh, nice little hops there from Simple. They're not actually pushing the issue. When we saw G2 do this, they were much more proactive in looking for the top Banana fight. So Simple is hoping to catch Nico on these jiggles, right? We know that Nico almost single-handedly is just a marauder up Banana, one-man army in a lot of occasions, just that AK aggressively looking for fights. But this is more well put together. JKS with the standard top mid util, deep long smoke, porch molly, flash, but it will be a B hit.
And Simple. Unable to find the first. Now they're already covering a lot of ground across the pool. Perfecto caught out and in to a site. And will it be a retake? So it looks like they're backing away. Simple unwilling to question it. It's not going to be easy, maybe even impossible. And so would rather hold on to their guns.
Worried about that lurk as well because JKS moments before disaster on the B site was applying a bit of pressure top mid. Now he has made sure there's no way back on down to Banana. But if I'm Hooksy, might be calling a couple of lads to investigate and try and take away a rifle or two. This is 14 secured. Na'Vi looked good in the early stages of this CT half. But how quickly the tides can change here. I know Striker, I was having a chat to him before. He was talking about this 15-map streak that G2 are on right now. And it's like, yeah, this is very impressive. You know, he's having his geeks at HLTV dig into just how impressive. Right. He was mentioning how Tyloo in China, you know, have these crazy, like, 30-game streaks. Or you look at something like an Australia Greyhounder had, like, 2 20-match streaks. But this is top-tier Counter-Strike. Those teams I mentioned are from small regions. And the teams in Europe who have been fantastic at exactly that, NIP, the 87-0, right? You have to remember that. And teams like Astralis with these streaks as well. G2 in the modern era. Let's see how long this can last. It's looking good for 16 right now.
And definitely an argument to be made that it's more impressive now, considering just how competitive Counter-Strike has gotten. There's so many teams. You know, how often have you heard players in the last couple of years say anyone can beat anyone at the highest level? For G2 to be able to find this consistency, and at the start of the year, I mean the start of the season, we've got so much to look forward to. If they can maintain this form, we'll see what it does to the rest of the best.
You could almost argue not qualifying for the last major could have been the best thing for this roster, especially if this is the form that continues.
It's certainly a nice way to encourage some hunger. Hunter calls mid-clear. Smoke still up on long side, so information not quite there, but they've got plenty of time to shape this one up. The double smoke towards long side. You can see those crisscross and a flash for good measure that will repel NPL. And Hooksy on a bit of a one-man mission here. Will sweep through, spots one out towards that mini pit. Oh, and Hunter onto MPL. We've said that before. Now with Simple on the site, should be good. Oh! Missed the shot. Hunter doubles up. The site now surely lost. Unless Bit can do anything from the pit. They know where he is, and Hunter deletes, destroys. Nico's already on the hunt. Just by virtue of his positioning, he knows they'll likely be cowering on the site. No need for them to move.
They will chase now.
Oh my God! This is bullying. Cyber bullying. The smoke just faded. You're like, okay, let's go save, and okay, double.
I was just saying, JKS is already on the way. Hooksy's in CT spawn. I didn't need either of them. It was just the cousins here. The combo.
Simple even fire. I mean, you can see these crouching through. Yeah.
I don't know how Hunter gets the better of him there.
That's mad. And the third for good measure, you know, Bit just gets his vision back. He's like, oh, I'm playing Counter-Strike again. How exciting as he loses his
This
head.
double here.
Mad, look.
Look at the transfer as well. Bosh.
Straight to the head. A cheeky smirk on the face.
Now, I will say, I did hear Hooksy just saying they have nothing, which is not true. They have an awful lot. They have an AWP again for Simple and 4 M4s. Now, Electronic, I think he had a whole bunch of money to come into this. He had over 10K for his investment.
So they're not counting on those MP9 farming frags.
But maybe Swanee just had a word there in that timeout that was called by Na'Vi, and maybe could set the record straight. Hey, boys, it's not going to be as easy as you think.
Yeah, let's see if there's any crazy maneuvers early. Well, Simple reveals his AWP, and Nico probably tucks his tongue as, yeah, that's the jig is up and jumping. Perfecto, that was very brave, or was it stupid? Hooksy for the first, Electronic for the trade, and now Banana is his. NPL set up in mid with Bit. Simple, a second frag from him. Yeah, this one definitely seems to have just slowly petered out for G2.
I wish this was my version of nothing. That one will at least rattle around the brain here of G2, unless Hunter and m0NESY pull off a 2-on-4 situation.
There's grounds for it if m0NESY wants to, I was going to say clear into the site, but he'll throw the smoke out instead. Wants to mantle over and clear that pit.
Simple's coming.
And Simple will likely finish the job. m0NESY mantles up on towards the balcony, spots the retreat towards the apartments, and there's 8 for Na'Vi. Now, the run back, it's going to be laden with pitfalls. It's not going to be easy. You've managed to muster 3 T rounds. And now perfection required. G2 I mean, to be returning to this map, we've seen G2 get the better of them, albeit in a variety of different ways.
Yeah, well, the most recent is pretty damning, isn't it? 14 rounds over 2 maps of play here, and now they're looking to hold them to a 16-8 scoreline. Just one more required, and, well, now they know that the AWP is in play here. You see a different pace. They're coming real fast, but simple. On to Nico again.
Yeah, but a different result in the sense that G2 will leave with top banana, Hooksy holding that. Perfecto dipping into the site, Electronic to rotate back, and looks like Hooksy's calling for some setup.
Yeah, he wants a flash here. Likely the entry flash from Monacy. This will give him the pick on towards CT spawn. And across. Oh!
And out.
Yeah, for a second. And now again, another one of these situations. And this time round, Hooksy didn't get the trade back. It will be a 3-on-5. G2 traditionally do pretty well in these type of situations, but they don't have any site control. They don't have any space. They do have 2 smokes, 2 mollies, and a flash, however, and that sounds like the recipe for a nice little B execute.
Let's see if this recipe can cook up any trouble. Simple gonna immediately extinguish, which implies to G2 it's gonna be a bit of a head-on collision. Monacy pulls the trigger first. Okay, Perfecto has to dip off that. Will they really expect a second in the same position? Perfecto reveals himself, needs frags, gets one, quick trade. G2 are in. The bomb's not, though. On that CT smoke, Monacy, hard clear and a good shot to NPL. He's gotten him in. And now the 2 of them, JKS and Monacy, going to try and take the whole round, take every frag, finish this map. He's cleared him. Oh, not far off. Just spotted the back. Where's the help? Electronic gets the frag and Monacy. Oh, how is he alive? He just bounces. Oh! And that's a way to finish. Stunning from Monacy to close. Salt in the wound sprinkled in with a stylish one from the team. That's nuts.
15 maps become 16 now on the trot here for G2. Very happy with that and a stylish way to do it. The flash, the namesake. You're seeing it in play right here. But that's only map number 1. G2 delivering. They want that semi-final spot.
It's no secret that Na'Vi have been scouting out new talent, and for newcomer NPL, his integration has been gradual, from observing from the sidelines at the Blastful final to map-specific substitutions in Abu Dhabi. 2023 now marks the time to dive in as a fully fledged member of Na'Vi. It's fair to say his first showing was a baptism by fire, as indicated by his .67 rating over 3 maps. As an official member moving into the new year, NPL showed marked improvements at the opening tournament of 2023, particularly his stats on Inferno. Other battlegrounds, however, still have room for improvement. With Blade behind you, there is no room to settle for anything less than perfection, especially with Na'Vi's legacy as an org. Time for NPL to show us what he's truly made of.
Nice. One more, perfecto here, perfecto here.
Yeah, okay.
Oh.
I'm picking
Oh,
City.
nothing, fuck it.
Running.
It's good, Ilya, what you do.
Head City.
One CC.
Ruins one? I'm searching ruins.
Okay, okay.
Whole City, fucking. City.
Nice!
Ilya! Sick!
Indeed, it was sick by Ilya. G2 closing out the game as they have played it, dominating. And I guess they're thinking, we beat you twice on this one already. I don't know why you keep picking it, because nothing's going to change, Janko.
Yeah, apparently not. And, you know, G2, I think, perfectly happy. I think there's a universe in which they would have picked the map in case Navi picked something else, because they didn't really struggle against Navi on this map. And it was just more of the same from G2, what we've been used to, you know, get off to another good start, win pistol, convert. We've been talking about, you know, an almost historic run that they have that was broken only recently when it comes to that part of the game. But from that, it's just solid default play, denying banana control for Navi and not letting them gain any economy.
Look, when you have Navi who, from the get-go, try to hit you with a fast ace split and you get wrecked by JKS, obviously it's not going to make life easy. We see here a couple of the highlights when they were trying to fight banana control, not going their way. The tree of solutions from Navi just got cut short, very quickly in that game, and just you could see Electronic was struggling individually, also having a hard time. Not easy to find solutions.
Yeah, Bit was the only one finding some openings, but here also, like this reaction, just running through the smoke, realizing like it's about timing, you know, before they can, don't let them plant the bomb, get into post-plant positions, even if it's, let's say, 2v4, you know, Bit and Electronic can win that, but if you run in and make it, you know, even a 2v1 and make sure that you know you have the information, this is like all round, you see rounds 7, 9, 11, like Navi wins a round, and this is what happens the round right after, right? This is a perfectly default flash play, changing it up from the side of G2. Nico gets a double kill, right? And they get so many early advantages where Navi is just, you know, saving.
Yeah, because in this round right here, for example, Navi is trying to break the code. Like they're trying to cross that smoke half for 130 seconds. If they survive it, that gives them a whole time to work the map, to decide what they're about to do. But they get pop flashed and they immediately wrecked. So it's G2 cutting them short. Every risk that Navi take, there's someone from G2 right there with a game plan as well.
And that's frustrating, right? If you're Navi, you're playing against G2 and it's not going too well, and then you can't even string 2 rounds together where they are always shooting him in the leg, so to say, so that they can't get the momentum going on the side of Navi, right?
And on top of that, 2 times Navi goes like maybe do something faster mid. It's like G2 is in the bracket setup, and there's nothing you can do. First gun round, JKS gets a 4K.
That's a beautiful round right here. It's G2 using the only weapon they have. They boost JKS, and I don't exactly know why. It's probably a counter call from Electronic, but they get sucked in that stack that is from G2. We don't even see it, but we have Nico's hiding in the apps with the Deagle. Hunter survives the 1v1 somehow, gives the timing to Nico, who's gonna pop away, and then JKS strikes in with the M4. These are rounds that suck up the air out of Navi. It's 7-3. You have worked so hard to put G2 on that eco buy. You have only one weapon. You can just regain control of the game, and you just fall into the trap.
And it keeps happening for G2 as well, right? And I guess it's a marker of a team that is on a hot streak and just feels confidence in every play that they make, because it doesn't matter if they're on eco.
It's the balance that G2 have right now, which is scary and terrifying. They're not overstepping in complacency and overconfidence. They have the confidence. They know when they can be aggressive and in your face. They've done it a couple of times in this game, just straight up second mid. But when they know they have to pull it back and let you come to them, they are walking this fine line, and they're doing it beautifully.
And that's when the team is at their most dangerous, right? Like playing with confidence and taking fights and taking duels, but not giving away advantages once they win some of those initial fights. And you can see here, aim high head-to-head. Bit is the one. I think he had 14 kills actually in the first half. You know, so not really too much from him in the second.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about that a little bit, because we talk about G2 getting a flying start. You guys outlined the stars that can align for the side of Na'Vi, but 5 kills combined in the first half between Electronic and Simple. Of course, Electronic made a run for it at the start of the second half, but that's not helping, Maniac.
No, it's not helping, and I guess we can play the blame game. We can be demanding. We can be expecting more from the stars. If you're a Na'Vi fan, you're thinking, why isn't Simple stepping up right now and giving my IGL a couple of rounds? Just a clutch here and there. And I know it's unfair, and I know we ask from him more than we ask from other players. But in that scenario where G2 is in the lead 7-3 and Na'Vi lose that eco buy, why isn't Simple just flying off with an AK and just turning the situation around? Because that's what a superstar is supposed to be. That element that tips the scale just slightly in your favor. And Simple was relatively absent in that first half. There's nothing else we can say about it.
Yeah, and I think what we saw in the green room, there was a round where the reason for that is the domino effect that happens like when it's small details and small people pushing. So look at this. We can pause it right here. Pause it right here. Like you can see the Hunter gets the kill on MPL. That causes Simple to turn, right? Like he's watching long. There's a player who's coming long. MPL dies, Simple has to turn, right? Hunter wins another amazing fight, but that allows the player on long to advance as well, to take space, right? They know that Bit is still the A player. He's like, he also smoked himself, right? And it's just everything falls apart from Na'Vi, even though they're looking like, you know, they might win this round, they might defend, and Nico ended up with a, you know, spray transfer on B, of course, still lurking.
Why not? Rat. And I think it's a beautiful example because it's a reminder for us that even though there are individuals who are exceptional in the game, and Simple definitely is, to go Electronic, incredible, but still for them to express all of that talent, there needs to be some sort of logic in what's happening in the game. They're operating in a way, they're understanding the game, and they have logical trees of decision that they follow. But when MPL makes that mistake in that round, he peeks in the smoke, then suddenly Simple's view of the round changes. I cannot just hold long now.
That's
my
where the
back is open.
danger is.
Exactly, and I turn around and he loses the timing. That could have been a triple kill. It's not. So it's really dominoing.
It's all into disarray indeed. Banks was able to catch up with G2 to get their thoughts on why it's going so well.
Shocks, this has been absolute domination once again. And I spoke to Swanee afterwards. He said, Na'Vi aren't really changing too much. He says, it's easy for him to play against them right now. They're just winning out in the head-to-head. They understand what's going on in the game. Then going into Nuke, he says, okay, he expects Na'Vi to have changed a few things and improved because obviously MPL wasn't playing it before. They have changed some positions. But he's super confident in G2 getting the 2-0. And he's confident they're going to go through to the semi-finals. Full focus, full confidence. Let's see if G2 can do it. Back to you, Shocks.
That's exactly what it looks like, and I think no one would give Na'Vi the benefit of the doubt going into this Nuke game, but that doesn't mean they can't win it because there are a couple of superstars on that roster. I mean, all of them in their own right, even though MPL is trying to find his way, but it is a good note. Let's talk about the second half also a little bit, because I think we focused a lot on the first one because naturally they ran away with it, but you said, oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say...
You want to jump in,
No, I was going to say, listen, like there's always, when a team is like really good and in championship form, there's always an aura around them. You know, if you go to the Fnatic all the way back, then Astralis, Na'Vi 2 years, year and a half ago, FaZe last year, right? It's just the way in which they win games and win rounds. Like there's so much confidence, and other teams are almost like, yeah, that's just a Fnatic round. Yeah, that's just Na'Vi. That's a simple 1v3, you know. And this is just, it's starting to become that way for G2. The first round they win on T side, it's an eco, and they win and they take the site without losing a single player, right? Like,
I know.
You know, like, but you look at it, and that's how FaZe won rounds last year, or a clutch by Rops, a 1v3, and all that stuff. So I think that's the problem for Na'Vi. There's no easy way to figure it out.
You're dreaming a little bit.
It's not dreaming. He's awake. That's what's happening. That's what's happening.
I've stepped out of the eco chamber and I'm paying attention.
Okay, I see. So we have 40 seconds left. Let's preview Nuke as best as we can. Maniac, and let's preview it from the angle of the team that is on the back foot in Na'Vi, who can have a fantastic Nuke, but obviously the added context of NPL finding its role.
And this added context forces me to revert back to the very old song of individuals have to show up. And that's where we are at right now with Na'Vi. There used to be a time where there was more to it to the arsenal. It wasn't just Simple. It wasn't just Electronic because we thought they had an airtight game plan. They were playing the clutches to perfection. That machinery is not as finely oiled right now. There are definite gaps. We can see them. What it means is that individuals have to pop off. We need to see some remnants of what Simple is. Otherwise, this might just be too off.
Yeah, G2 against FaZe or Nuke had a disadvantage in a lot of rounds, still managed to take them, so gonna be tough to play against.
It's gonna be really hard to do so, but we'll see if Na'Vi can bring us to 3 maps or if G2 close it out and book their ticket to the semifinals.
Dallas, we're back. Counter-Strike is in our DNA. It always has been, and it always will be. And now we are once more returning to where it all began.
You love it, you wear it, wear it.
Wear your passion. Share your passion. Wherever, whenever. Gaming is a lifestyle. Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.
with Nico. Oh, see the shadow. What? Odyssey's in the air!
To this bomb site. Odyssey on catwalk finds the timing. 8 seconds. If he can drop the bomb, it'd be everything. But it travels into the site. 1-on-2 from Odyssey now. It's sacrificial. Gives his position away. He wants Odyssey's aim goal. Oh, the Shepherd staff takes down the goat, and he takes Simple out of the round.
Now it's Complexity calling their third timeout. 2 remain, 1 per team.
Yeah, this was really nice. And
these are the positions you want, right? These positions, the 2 positions that get multi-kills in that round, are the positions they don't have after Cole run that A attack into the B fake. It pulls everyone so much further back towards Pit, towards Graffiti. That's why it's a lot easier for outsiders to hold the B site there.
And the timing from Flit was perfect to turn and check Monster. That only happens because Jame rotates down, takes up his short angle at the perfect second to allow that kill to come in. All right. Outsiders, that's 1 on the CT side. Have they got any more? If they win this next one, they're looking to leapfrog up into the lead. That's also another round where these nades have gone in early out of Complexity but haven't found a thing.
I like that they do that on a AAA attack because it's going to look like they're heavy beat. That's not the case, and Jame finds out the easy way. He knows that was a run boost just by how Hauser got there. What a crazy shot to hold that wide.
Yeah, right, exactly. He's holding the wide angle, expecting the run boost. That's insane. And now him and Fame just fall back into a very passive A-side setup, right? They've been running this time and time again. This time it's even better.
Goodness gracious me, we are back in business, and it seems so are G2. Business as usual, Chad, for 2023, domination stations, Na'Vi on the receiving end, and Na'Vi being made to look meek, weak, helpless at times, and at the hands of G2. This is what Na'Vi do to other teams, and it's being done to them.
Yeah, look, this is remarkable, but apparently it is the story of 2023 so far. A whole new look G2. The World Final win last year seems to have bonded and brought this team together like never before. But Na'Vi never once to call down or out. The desk wants more from the superstar Simple. Well, let's see. He's on the defense right now. The CT side start. A chance here to stop G2's nuke streak. 9 on the trot since Hooksy has joined the team. Undefeated on this very map, which has been a home map for both Na'Vi and FaZe in the last few years.
Which is crazy to think. So Na'Vi are definitely an iconic map for them. G2, an undefeated map for them. And now we get the joy of saying, fight. And fight they shall. Hooksy's got the nade preparing for a bit of an exit towards that top site. Molly Hut on its way. Smoke main, and we're ready to play. Perfecto will likely be forced off. And it's JKS who takes down Electronic and down the vents instead. Nico lost short. And it's a 4-on-4. It's bit on the door. Takes a heavy beating. Will be repelled from the angle. Hooksy lingering for a late ramp flank. 2 from here. JKS towards the dark position. There's 3 members of Na'Vi now. All backs turn to that potential flank from Hooksy. Modesty just needs to live. Buy time. JKS the same and actually does find a head. Simple good for 1 as well. Modesty hoping for help. It gets awkward now. Hooksy, yeah, element of surprise is one thing, but long range Glock shots another. Hard to hit. And Na'Vi will take that pistol.
Oh, HooXi had a chance there to get a kill, but look where the bomb's planted. For him to be able to scoop this one up, it was going to be very, very difficult. So great entries, great plant, but Na'Vi will weather that storm and pick up the pistol round here on the CT side of Nuke. Pretty handedly, mind you. This is the opener, but as they were trying to drop down the vent, Nico got plucked from the pack. One of the heavy hitters removed here as MPL. You can see that right there. That is a tasty shot and actually a lot of impact because you mentioned only 2 players for G2 on the lower side, while Na'Vi had a lot more bodies. That forced the extremity players, HooXi and Hunter, to be a little bit more proactive looking for those fights. And G2, well, we've seen this one before. Off the back of the plant, we'll have a pretty tidy looking force fight. Some Galils, a Tech 9, and a Scout up against Na'Vi's second round purchase.
Early descent from Electronic. Kovac Cousins alongside with m0NESY, taking some yard fights, or at least looking for them. Electronic could catch a time on his secret stairs. He is worming his way up, and m0NESY takes down Simple Trade. Not immediate, but provided. Electronic successful to keep it level.
Nico has a lot of space, though. You can see him now starting to tighten the noose here alongside of HooXi's push. So forcing this rotation right now. Bit spotted and does get the kill. Good shot from Bit, but traded out by HooXi now.
Loving all the head-to-heads we're getting here. Bit out-aims Nico. m0NESY out-aims Simple. Electronic feeling a little pressure towards the ramp. And you can see that things are changing hands here. So Hell, ramp, it's flying the flag of G2. MPL and Perfecto are responsible for that top site.
Hunter has to be very careful here. Traditionally, lobby push, name of the game when the CTs lose the territory, but they're actually sticking to their guns. MPL and Perfecto not moving. It'll all be on Electronic here with that MP9, which is where he started extremely strong on the CT side of Inferno's campaign.
Yeah, it's becoming a weapon. He's all too efficient with. What? Look at this. He's playing a rifle position with an SMG, nearly finds HooXi. That should open up the opportunity for a plant. Smoke towards the door, swings it open premature. Good find. Bomb lost. And Perfecto disrespects, charges the smoke. No time to win the round. JKS just hiding in plain sight. Doesn't want to die. And that was close. And Na'Vi will recover. That second round is theirs.
Yeah, you really have to turn a little bit of attention there towards HooXi. He got ahead of the play. He went to plant backside before the smoke was up, and that got him removed. So this is them dealing with Electronic towards the back of the sight box, sure. He did a good amount of damage here, but the problem was that smoke coming in towards Decon. It was well, it wasn't disrespected. It was too late for what HooXi was hoping for there. So Perfecto's pushed through, heads up Counter-Strike, denying that plan, and a little bit frustrating. I'm not sure. HooXi was, in my mind, a little bit ahead of the play there, but regardless, it's the 2-0 start for Na'Vi and a timeout for G2.
Yeah, I think that might be one just to kind of shake off that round. You can see there was a bit of a deep sigh shared by the G2 squad after that one. I think the loss of the bomb, not part of the plan.
Yeah, maybe I'm
Captain Obvious over here.
Yeah, there could have been a lot said in the comms there that could change that, but just from our perspective. Now, JKS will hold on to the Galil, which, unless G2 can get a plant here and be somewhat threatening in round number 3, means the first quote-unquote gun round is going to be quite limp.
I like that JKS is actually being quite aggressive with this rifle.
Flash through.
And straight in. Perfecto gone. The Galil fills the feed first. Found now. NPL on top of the hut. He's got another fight to take and successful. Na'Vi, they weather this storm comfortably. They got their feet up and they're chilling.
That's 3 rounds in a row right now where G2 have got the opening and Na'Vi have handled it. So good work from the individuals to make up the difference with the multi-kills after the fact. JKS with the biggest gun found the entry again, but everybody else overlooks MPL. And now we just get to watch the brilliant aim of Nico at work here. You can see how diligent he is with the clears in the Deagle department. But will he get any opportunities to find a banger? Well, there was one. Now the siren sounded. Everybody from Na'Vi understands the situation at this point.
And probably everyone from Na'Vi knows what it feels like to get hit by the Nico Deeg. Not an experience they're planning to experience in round 3.
He's just looking for damage here, right? Anything he can take. Clutching this round. Look at this stack.
Yeah, as he rounds this corner, they've positioned perfectly, so it's only going to be one. Yeah, it doesn't matter how well placed your crosshair is, you're going down on that fight. Nice start from Na'Vi, and I think, you know, that interaction we discussed as to G2's undefeated run on Nuke since HooXi's joined the team, and the fact that Na'Vi were, and I would have said still are until G2 started farming, the best Nuke team. I mean, they are iconic. The outside setups of Simple Electronic, this roster, obviously with NPL, there is some questions to be asked as to if they can hold that same level of form.
It almost feels like the passing of the guard with the best teams in the world. When Na'Vi were the best team in the world on Nuke, well, they were the best team in the world. When FaZe were the best team in the world on Nuke, they were the best team in the world. And
oh, hello.
Yes, it's down again. Okay, another entry.
He's going to keep doing that, but there is immediate response from Na'Vi. They're trying to go straight without the smokes. Now, Electronic got a lot of info on that glance, and they're not slowing down. The util's there to slow them. I thought there might be an attempt to disrespect the smoke, but no, change of plan. Na'Vi, well reacted to. They've actually completely cancelled G2's immediate secret descent. But JKS, yeah, 2 for 2 for getting out Squeak and finding an opening. And that's perfecto. Locks HooXi out. He'll have opportunity for information. There's no one else home.
Look at all the bodies on the lower deck for Na'Vi. They've just left Electronic, the only man on the upper side of things right now. Bit and Perfecto crawling forward, looking for fights. Simple making sure they can't get down ramp, and Electronic says, hey boys, all clear right now. Look at the timing on this, perfect, just has to pick a target. Perfecto gets m0NESY, Trade is there, but they won't expect Bit, not at all, and he finishes off Hunter easy as you like.
That's the benefit to having so many bodies down there in response. As they recover that territory, they rip apart what remained of G2.
Yeah, not a hot start here for G2, and that's been a part of a lot of these map wins is hot starts, so yeah, very, very cool. It's going to be a 4-0 lead for Na'Vi early. And G2 also don't have their money set as they'd like. So hoping to break through with one of these higgledy-piggledy buys. No. Now they will have to be a little bit more conservative. Nico can't connect the dots. Bit will grab another. That's 4 kills for him. And no grimaces on the face of Na'Vi just yet. So that's a pleasant change as well.
But you mentioned that the G2 have been often capable of starting strong on Nuke, but what happens if you've grown very familiar with that feeling?
Precisely, right? And once more, even though map number 1 was just domination from G2, looking fantastic on Inferno, so many different opening variations on their CT side, felt like they couldn't put a foot wrong. We just have to remind ourselves and the viewers this is Na'Vi, and you can never rule this team out. Timeout called, conversation had. AWP available for Simple here. Another one of these rounds for G2 where it's missing the trimmings. They have taken a very conservative approach with this one. You can just see a few dotted around Tech 9s. But once again, if we reflect to Inferno, a round like this where they had a set piece, one of those pocket strats that we like to discuss, they were able to crack in.
Yeah, let's see if they can replicate. Smoke wall to try and spread a little bit of disinformation. Nico going to be very loud about this and very indicative of a cross. The extinguish implies his presence. And then they want to try and pop out the top. Let's see how far they get them. NPL has been caught out, dinked up, and executed by the Flame. It's Perfecto, though, that pulls in the slack and tightens up the defense. These momentary gaps that m0NESY this time did try and generate, just unable to convert. G2 try another different look, and it comes up empty-handed.
We've seen this one before. Nico with the deagle over towards Yard. This time starting to head back towards that lobby position. They are getting out, and they are able to punish the top side defense, but if Perfecto continues to mow them down, now 8-3, right, this is where the difference has to come in, is the individual ability of Na'Vi as well. When they are pushed, when they are tested, 1-for-1's not enough. Need to make sure they're shutting shop.
Yeah, every single member of Na'Vi has had a multi-kill round. And we're only 5 rounds in. I think this is Perfecto's 3rd here in round 6. So yeah, that's the flying start you'd like to see. You know, when you hit the desk.
Ooh. That's gonna feel nice. Starting to warm up, aren't they, Na'Vi?
When you hear the desk talking about, you know, or Yanko and specifically, he mentions Electronic Simple Bit, never gonna write them out. And then he also immediately, the next thing is and Perfecto when he's on. Well, when he's on, that might be the difference maker and maybe a bit of a record breaker for G2. 5-0, staring down the barrel of a strong start. Let's see if they can get it all going now. They've got the bells, the whistles, the trimmings, all the side salads they could require. Some early exchanges. All bang into Hut does leave Perfecto a little lower, but m0NESY posted towards the side. Not going to have anything to report. Simple responsible for the lower early.
They're looking to do a late smoke wall here, and if Simple pokes up his head, m0NESY is waiting for that.
Just like that?
Yeah, that was perfectly timed. I want to thank m0NESY for that one, I suppose. Makes me look like a bit of a genius here, but the smoke wall now up and at him, and more bodies down towards the lower deck. But do they want to hit Secret, or do they want to take warehouse space? Find out now.
Seems like warehouse. Electronic not going to have a look lockers. That's the fight Nico's hoping for, waiting for. Not going to be given.
Delayed towards ramp with that smoke. Nico now searching towards heaven. 3 players down the lower deck, and that is quite the shot. Tap, tap, tap it in. Big one there from Nico. 2-man advantage here.
That was his first frag, and it's one hell of a scorching way to arrive on the scoreboard. And now we can just burrow in, anticipating a CT reaction. JKS is cautious, but not checking his corners. Bit good for it on ramp. One back from Na'Vi. Still that man discrepancy, and the low site's lost.
Bomb has been planted.
Oh, looking for the save. I thought they may have been looking for a frag here. It looked like after they were able to pick up JKS, they were spurred forward for a fight. NPL just missing a glimpse of Nico as he makes his way down the vent, but Na'Vi, they know this lead that they've been able to accrue early. Why throw it away? Let's hold on to these goodies and continue to be as threatening into the follow-up rounds of play as we can.
Yeah, m0NESY, definitely. I mean, I'm sure he's watched a Simple demo or two, as every rising star does.
Well, especially when they play each other so recently, right? And quite truly, it does get to the point here where the two of them watch each other's games. They understand the patterns of where they want to rotate, those type of fights that they want to take. And that's what you're looking for, right? We don't often see too many head-to-head AWP duels, but if you can pip your opponent at the post like this, it just seemed way too easy. Walks right in and dead. Great stuff from m0NESY here, but there's truly mind games between these players at this level, and that's something that we would never be able to dig into unless they give us that insight. And that's one of the secret sauce, so I'm not sure they're going to be giving that one away for free.
Yeah, I would hope not. Well, G2, break their silence. Get off of the starting mark. Is there more where that came from? m0NESY, good onto his opening in the previous. Now sets his sights towards Bit's hidey hole. Playing a real tight gap. Safe from the Molotov, and that's enough of a warning sign for him to bail out. Actually going to hide in his own smoke, maybe. Simple this time beats Nico, and now Bit overwhelmed. 2 to the good for G2. Heading into that low site, and it's completely unmanned. Nico probably not going to be expecting this one. Oh, just pops his head up. Recovers that AWP. Electronic at least getting something to celebrate, not only the save, but taking Nico down a peg.
Okay, well, consecutive rounds here, and similar result for Na'Vi. Hold on to the goodies, and we'll try again tomorrow. See if they wake up on the right side of the bed going into round number 8 here. It was a really nice start here, and I know it's only 2 for G2 now, but they've come quite easily with a lot of bodies staying alive. It looks easy, doesn't it? This is one of the things with Counter-Strike, and I guess it's difficult to convey this message to people who only watch as opposed to play, but when we see these guys chopping off heads, remembering 342 different variations of smokes, flashes, Molotovs, all the different strategies, the flight paths, the tendencies of their opponent, right? That all just seems very simple. Well, that's not the case. There's an intensity in Counter-Strike, first of all, with the focus on your crosshair to be able to be lightning fast with the reactions and precise with the shot. And then you have to do that with all that other information I discussed still floating around in your brain as the in-game leader tells you if, when, and maybe you need to pull out any part of it. And that intensity is, I guess Elige is a good example when he gets a little bit jump scared. That can show you just how glued and focused. This is aggressive. JKS withstands the flames for a moment. Perfecto from the grave with the trade. I think they're going to push the issue.
Yeah, Simple jumps into the site, wants to commit to holding this one at the door.
That was a cheeky little aggressive maneuver, right? Get those mollies deep in, force that squeaky player to be fighting or falling. How about both?
Yeah, well, JKS manages to remedy it with the frag at least. Electronic going elsewhere. Oh, and MPL nearly lost his life to that spray. Definitely softened up.
Full luck on the timing there, but damage nonetheless.
Yeah, he's going to try and play Hut. Hooksy's been pre-aiming this. Upon the fade, Hunter to walk out. It's Simple here as well. If MPL goes down, it's really going to all fall onto Sasha. At the back of the site, just the one. As Hunter hands him some humility, a bomb to be planted. Electronic just going to be staring at a smoke for another 18 seconds. Bit known as the ramp player, likely Heaven, Hunter and Monacy on the site and working it out. Catching a bit of flack from that nade, but it's Monacy again comfortable on that AWP. Electronic 1v3 goes, 1v2 goes a little dangerous for a moment. Nico will finish the job. Gets that info by virtue of the tracers.
And this time nothing saved for Na'Vi. So 2 rounds they lost, they saved some guns. Sure, it gave them an opportunity to keep buying back in with drops, but now they do have a few issues here. Out of cash on almost all of their players. Here's the Flames coming in the way of JKS, that initial fight and trade out, but they know Perfecto is a top defender, and I think that helped Hooksy make this call, and this is great work from Hunter. You can see him using the sight boxes to shield his scale up into the site, focusing on Hut, and then pivoting onto Simple with that AWP for the second after Hooksy goes down. But MPL showing some signs of life with aggression in towards Hut. The snapping turtle, a very nice weapon for the job.
Simple just testing Nico. You like your taps? Hit this one. And a shot has been hit. You heard that. Or connects onto Simple through the container and alive and kicking, even if a scrap of health is all he has to celebrate. Nico again.
So cheeky from Simple.
He is almost taunting him.
All right, well, understanding what they're up against here. Information flowing as G2 used the smoke wall and with 4 players. Oh. Okay.
You just see Nico's reaction. It's almost comical. Just stands still and looks in the direction like, really?
Come on, man.
You hit that?
And Hooksy just did no man's land there on the fade. It's very cheeky here, but hoping to catch them out. Now, Simple pivoting all the way back into CT spawn. Will he go overlooked here? 30 seconds. Well, 35 to be exact. Could be problems for G2 still.
Ooh, Simple. An opportunity on that scout straight to the head of Hooksy, and that's an immediate cancel.
Navi can win this. They've stacked top.
Yeah, and within 20 seconds, G2, they're going to have to do their due diligence. They're in all the right places, all the nooks and crannies to be cleared. Nico low. Perfecto hits the shot. Na'Vi with 10 seconds, they just have to stop Hunter. Charging into the site. Berserking. NPL Hut. Can he stop the plant? Can he stop the plant? No, JKS is down. Hunter 2! NPL clutches up and Na'Vi will win the eco. With a couple of pistols and some scout tags for good measure.
Now that was beautiful there from MPL. You can see him just surging forward in the chaos. A slap on the head from Hooksy there. You can't be dropping those. MPL even grabs that AWP on the way out. Did everything and more for his team right there. And at the start of the round, I said perfect weapon for the job. I didn't think it would play in like this. Trading efficient from G2 considering they're up against the odds, but time the biggest issue. JK is trying to cover every single angle, and he just comes screaming, doesn't stop moving. MPL, that is a big one for the young gun.
Lesser players would be going straight for that bomb carrier. JKS would have had time perhaps to slow him down and catch the frag, but he gets them both. Hunter still fannying around trying to get his gun back out. Beautiful.
And those are the little confidence builders.
Oh yeah.
For players like MPL, feeling, hey, I can do this. Against the G2 is on a 9-map winning streak right now on this very territory of Nuke.
And Simple, gonna build upon that with Hooksy down early, the AWP posted. And successful, that was the bomb carrier as well. Nice one back, Nico. Always up for a biff and a brawl.
Feels like blink and you miss it in a lot of these scenarios. They just appear on the screen and they're gone.
JKS side by side. Oh! And Simple JKS is talking a lot. Look at this. The restraint from JKS. Simple. Knife out. Eliminated. Can't build upon it. Perfecto adjusts perfectly, but in the meantime, Hunter's taking space and runs straight into NPL. Their top site seems like it's on lock. Honestly, gonna perhaps use the secret avenue.
Might have to, but how does Nico join the party here? If he goes from ramp and clears down, they will have to deal with Bit, who's over towards that window side. So this is the fight that will come first for m0NESY, I do believe.
Yeah, they're going to be sweeping lobby, so definitely on a timer. Na'Vi will start to regather.
m0NESY has to make a move shortly. Look how low the clock's getting again here for G2.
Bit might start looking, yeah, here's the utility ramp side. Now m0NESY makes the move. As his attention's drawn, still considering the flank.
Steps ahead.
Loud out there. Feel the bomb and what? Oh! What is that? Lightning quick from m0NESY. And now he hears the rundown. Perfecto. Bodyguarded. Just enough time to get that bomb down. NPL, can you do it again? They plant. Nico and m0NESY side by side, and m0NESY closes. That's a recovery after the round. The slip up, the red face, the slap on the forehead. Now they're back in business by virtue of Nico and m0NESY.
Felt like they stole that one there, didn't they? I know that whole JKS situation, we had all the info, we had the free kill here on Simple. It felt like it was going to cause more chaos, but then they handled it. And this here, I don't know how m0NESY hits this onto Bit. I thought he was going to overlook this, but that is quick. He even has a chance to get off that plant. Nico bodyguards, as you said, and on 7 HP, they walk away with their 4th round here. That's going to stun Na'Vi, who are going to have to be down to the pistols again. And there you go. Simple. Onto Nico. NPL. Oh. A big shot.
Oh my God.
We're throwing out some big knocks here.
Yep. This one's got a different flavor for sure. Simple immediately puts one on the floor and NPL builds upon it.
What happens if you stomach 2 of these if you G2? Maniac started to address that, hey, sure, things look good for G2 when they're winning. What happens when they start losing?
Isn't that the question? Well, we'll be getting answers perhaps if Na'Vi can hold this form. Smoke on Squeak. Another confidence-boosting frag as well for NPL. When you're on these partials, to be taking that hut fight, successfully taking a big frag. We've seen G2 recover these kind of rounds. Look no farther than the close on Ancient. And it was Hunter who gave him that leg back in, but NPL with a second. What more could you ask? That flick is nasty, filthy, but not enough as we see 7 and Na'Vi will take another naughty round. They had no right into that one. Just daylight robbery, just as G2 were sailing on that high from their clutch up. They're sent right back down to earth.
Oh, decision time here for G2. I think Hooksy with the buy-in is going to signify exactly where we're headed here. Honestly, felt like he was going to hit that second shot as well. It's difficult when you have AWPers of the caliber of m0NESY and Simple in the server. You think they're going to hit everything that appears on their screen.
It's so fast.
Oh, JKS only has a Glock here. What's happened?
Just
back at spawn. Okay, Tech 9. He does get away with something. They're starting to look a bit discombobulated here because 2 of the rounds that G2 have lost so far as part of Na'Vi's tally of 7 have been rounds where they had the firepower advantage, actually had all the advantages in the world.
m0NESY and JKS have won every opening duel they've taken, 4 and 3 respectively on this T side, but as we've highlighted and as we've seen, those openings are very short-lived against Na'Vi. Simple. You can see the restraint from JKS. Even at the highest level, we've noticed players can sometimes not let that smoke pop. Simple, for such a forward position, anti-flash on forward, hold, and NPL holds fast. 1 and done. Nico with a double up, straight into the site. JKS up close and personal with Perfecto. It's the trade that matters. Simple in the vent. We know he likes to go for some cheeky no-scopes around that ladder. Now sneaking into the site, lets one go. And it's only one back from Bit. Nico trying to get the troops motivated with a 3K delivery. A full team effort, everyone contributing for G2, 8 for m0NESY, JKS, and Nico. But just as these rounds come in from Na'Vi, these heroics, and immediately G2 seem to always have a response. Let's see how this goes.
This is crazy, right? Because both teams don't have loss bonuses. So as we continue to trade blows like this, it's what's left at the bottom of the barrel to try and make it work. And this is really fighting tooth and nail. This is just really good individual prowess from G2 and some great trading on top of things. And again, Perfecto dropped an ult for Simple here. Can Simple do it once more? They're in towards A. They're opened up the site, and maybe they can take a breath.
Ooh. Yeah, that Alligator, not the perfect weapon for the job for Bit now.
Because they did force all in here again. Like, look at Perfecto. He has no armor, right? He had just enough money to drop Simple and AWP. Last time they were in this complexion, Simple got the pick on towards Nico, and I think they've had enough of testing the waters outside. Brute force in towards A again. MPL this time removed. Well, not just this time. We've seen him go down a couple of times, but his impact on those lower buys for Na'Vi was truly felt. And I think it's just this persistence of G2 not to relent, right? The fact that they were able to lose a really bad round, be frustrated, but then bounce back, right? So we've done the hard work. Most teams are going to capitulate mentally here.
But you said take a breath, and they've had the opportunity. You know, for the last 30 seconds, they haven't been worrying about losing a round, which is a nice gift. But that puts them up to 6. And you talked about scraping the bottom of the barrel. Yeah, I mean, managing to get the AWP in Simple's hands, just not successful this time, but they do get a second taste now. Save successfully. m0NESY providing that opening. Let's see from NPL's perspective, he's just about got his vision back from the flash, starts to move and loses his head. Blade on the mic. First call out, or rather timeout called from Blade into our second map of play.
Could be doing some calling out here as well. Hey, boys. Started well. Let's finish as we hope to go on here.
Swanee, new job.
Yeah, I got the promotion. But that's the thing with the recipe at the moment. You're winning. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Why do you need a new coach when everything seems to be working fantastically well? And, well, Swanee must be contributing something or they wouldn't be keeping him around. Now, Simple with this saved AWP, it feels like more often than not, he's able to find that impact. He will be the X factor again here. But as we move into the final 2 rounds of the half, I don't know if he will get another AWP in his hands if they don't convert this one.
He's going to try and force the round. Oh dear, he meets Nico's spray, a veteran of the yard. And a veteran of fighting against Simple's AWP. Electronic, the recovery mission complete. A clear priority for Na'Vi, but 7 for G2, the equalizing round on this T side. You can see m0NESY just waiting for the call from Hooksy. And a re-aggress, Electronic the AWPer coming into clear out an aggressive trophy, but Hooksy just goes and takes the top site. Hunter will back away. They're going to pincer in. Perfecto, offense, best defense, he says, as nothing to report for that shotgun. Nice bang into Hooksy on the box, but this would be very impressive if Bit can get anything done with that shotgun. They're going up on top of the hut.
They're going to try and boost her as well. I think they want to hunt, but no one's considering Bit already being here. He's gotten more room than I think he imagined. It's like somebody should be checking me, and well, here's a kill.
And Electronic and Bit can isolate JKS as well. m0NESY and Hooksy now getting a little bit uncomfortable.
The Terminator right there. Bit just seeing how much more he can take.
Electronic's played a perfect round as well in terms of the high value. Hooksy's desperate to try and take it away, but he's hiding all the way in lobby.
Well, they weren't going to be able to afford an AWP. This was the only way they were going to be able to bring it through here. You can see with the cash stacked up on the other side. Oh, I tell a lie, actually. Bit ruined that because he got kills with the shotgun.
He didn't calculate.
So I didn't think that Bit was going to get multiple kills with the Alligator.
Yeah, not bad, actually. Good, all in a good day's work. $1,800.
This is so fun. Like, this shotgun on a map like Nuke, actually super strong.
I use it a lot.
It's
not gonna lie. And it's fire at mid-range. As long as you're clicking on the head twice, it's pretty damn dangerous.
More shotguns, please.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe the Mag 7 needs to make a comeback as well. There was a period where we got a whole lot of Mag 7 when the Swedes were on top.
Pretty good recovery here from G2. They were 5-0 down at one point. So only 2 rounds since that portion for Na'Vi.
Yeah, it must be quite nice to feeling new tests, new rounds. Ooh, Simple. He caught a flash. Of the flash, 4 members of G2 are there. Gonna try and look over on the railing, but perfect smokes, a fired shot, and a flash over the top for Electronic. Goes up, and m0NESY so prepared. G2, well drilled. Opening again for G2. Can they close with a win? And a 1 T-half. Simple wants to argue against it. Only the 1 before Nico finds him. Now hell is lost unless Bit can hold on to this one. Just knocking on the door is Nico. And Perfecto wrapping around for the secret stairs this week. Been waiting for Nico. Down to 1 HP, a dink exchange, but the AK stronger. Honestly, he's just got a read, hasn't he? Perfect hold. Delivers for his squad, just the one frag to stop this 8. And you were talking about that start from Na'Vi. Yeah, what a recovery from G2. NPL onto Monacy, and down he goes. Smiles at the end of the half. G2, they were getting a bit hot under the collar at the start of things, but we've got a competitive one here on our second. It's a battle for the bye. Will you get that semi-final spot in the Spodek, or will we see a third map? G2 making a strong case.
Stadtbild komm mir nicht weg, Kopf fragt, mach kein Pisstest, nein. Ich will nicht auf deiner Party gehen, nein. Engel und Teufel tanzen Schwansee. Von deinen Lippen tropft der Chardonnay. Ich küss ihn weg, bevor du schlafen gehst. Sitz auf meiner Fensterbank, die Nacht zieht vorbei. Ich blick über den Tellerrand, trinke Sekt auf Eis. Ein Teufel und ein Engel tanzen auf dem Vielleicht sind wir unsterblich, müssen nie wieder weg. Ich sitz auf meiner Fensterbank, die Nacht zieht vorbei. Ich blick über den Tellerrand, trinke Sekt auf Eis. Ein Teufel und ein Engel tanzen auf dem Parkett. Vielleicht sind wir unsterblich, müssen nie wieder weg. Faded auf den Wohnzimmerdeal. Baby, sag, wieso sind wir hier? Kann sein, dass wir den Boden verlieren. Wir heben ab morgens um 4. Ich sitz auf meiner Fensterbank, die Nacht zieht vorbei. Ich blick über den Tellerrand, trinke Sekt auf Eis. Ein Teufel und ein Engel tanzen auf dem Parkett. Vielleicht sind wir unsterblich, müssen nie wieder weg. Ich sitz auf meiner Fensterbank, die Nacht zieht vorbei. Ich blick über den Tellerrand, trinke Sekt auf Eis. Ein Teufel und ein Engel tanzen auf dem Parkett. Vielleicht sind wir unsterblich, müssen nie wieder weg.
Final day of the group stage. Ladies and gentlemen, that's right, the Spodek was running out of seats at the table. Na'Vi and G2 already there. They're playing for the semis. You can see Simple last round here up against Monacy.
Yeah, the timing on this one here, they didn't give Simple any room. That's one of the keys, right? You can see Nico just swarming in. He's stuck over towards the single box, and that kind of felt like a lot of these rounds, especially if we reflect on Inferno, which was pure domination. But you can see G2 getting fired up now.
Fired up. Inferno, I will remind you, second stream as well, has gone to 3. Sorry if there's a spoiler warning required, whatever. Check it out if you've got a second screen. Outsiders and Cole duking it out for a spot in the Spodek as well. Right now, Na'Vi and G2, this has been quite a lovely recovery from G2, and you can see the odds favoring them, but Nico on yard with a lot of bodies his way. Hunter with him, I love it too. The cousins, side by side, and Monacy gone. NPL finds the frag, Simple equipped with that P250. Nico might be his next victim. Long range engage, okay, Simple. Gives Nico a bit of his own medicine there.
Yeah, just isolated, knowing that they could take that fight and hit an absolute banger. Now it's Hooksy and JKS, maybe an unlikely duo in the clutch. Na'Vi can just allow this one here to simmer as JKS, he's trying to find out where they've gone. Spotted one jumping behind red, would have to hit some absolute bangers to make this possible, but that's information for Na'Vi. They know where at least one player of the remaining two are.
JKS does actually find a clean duel. Reposition, simple catching flak as well from Hooksy. That will be a huge frag to post. He's been absent in the feed for the majority, and JKS, he's got two on his plate, needs the fresh mag, and Hooksy good for the frag as well. JKS gets the bomb on the floor, and Simple already wounded. How did this fall through Na'Vi's fingers? This felt like a guarantee. And now all Hooksy has to do is just hold his push, play it safe from the rafters. The bomb is not in Simple's grasp.
He's going around the world here as well. Time is going to start becoming an issue here. About to hit 25 seconds. And JKS, considering the fact he could come late out squeaky, this is heard now from Simple, knows where one of the two are again.
Well, Hooksy, he's not considering this at all. Simple playing a masterful game of Counter-Strike on the low HP, the 1v1. Can JKS hold his nerve with 8 seconds left? Simple's going to have to plant, gets the info. JKS has to run him down. Simple off the bomb, gets the info. Can he get around the corner? He can and will secure the round. JKS with impact. G2 take the pistol, and it's daylight robbery. Na'Vi will not be happy with that.
Oh, you can see the smiles on the faces of the G2 players right there, toying with Simple, right? The devil himself, forcing him into a very, very awkward clutch right there. But the issue is what the hell was going on with the rest of Na'Vi. You knew that JKS was on the floor of topside. You knew that Hooksy was up towards the heavens, and they still forced themselves with so much time on the clock in towards this A site. They could have gone towards Secret, right? They could have gone, I guess they were worried about the Heaven player. That's why they were...
Oh, mate, the door closed and the little strafe around.
He was styling on him right there.
He was.
He just made Simple look foolish. There's not too many people in the world who can say that.
Nice work from JKS as well, rewarding himself with an M4 for good behavior.
And that's it. He's so comfy in the clutch. Simple again almost catches someone sleeping, but Hunter wide awake.
Eyes are peeled, and so are heads. As Na'Vi, one by one, tries to work it out. Process of elimination solves it, and Nico does too. Hunter, wow, puts the nade on his face, gets a smile out of his bro, and we are cooking.
Oh, okay. Something's going on the other stream.
What was that?
I'm not sure. I think it sounded like it was in English.
It sounded positive. It sounded loud. That's all I'll say.
Definitely loud.
Yeah, we'll leave it there.
We can confirm
loud.
It was loud.
Yes, indeed. Hope you've got two screens. Let's see what Nico's going in for this engagement on Yard. Something he's going to have been studying, a nade actually destined for Electronic. He knows where you like to hide. I love this. I love the layers, and I love that. Monacy throws some aggression into the mix. Take that AWP into Hut. Take that first body down. A nice weapon now for Simple in the round, but still limping. And Hooksy forward. Normally, that's not something you go for alone. He has opted to do so.
And Nico and JKS are both down here. So if they push down Secret, they will find Nico, sure, but JKS... they're going to hide him, tuck him in. That might lull them into a false sense of security, but that's assuming Na'Vi decide to finish. And, well, they've all backed off completely here. Hooksy with a lot of space. In this position, probably good for one, maybe 1.5, 2. Nico getting information back again. Just G2 so happy with this number advantage to still search for info. And Simple, does he clear his corners? Yes, he does.
An easy way to find the 4v4, I guess. Simple. Makes light work of Hooksy. You can see ramp now obviously wide open. JKS will get the smoke down. And MPL goes down. Hunter finds it through the smoke. Well-placed bullets. Monacy somehow onto Electronic. On that hut position. Oh, Simple's going to be unhappy. Nico from behind. Bit's got nowhere to go. And he makes a path. Get out of there. Oh! JKS! Another one of those. We've seen him do it to Simple before, and he does it this time to Bit, takes the gun away.
Yeah, Justin still remembering the days of 1.6 when he was about 10 years of age.
Yeah.
I've got this, well, Gomez has this classic picture. Maybe you'll get it out on the internet. I know Juzzy doesn't love it, but he definitely loves a good wall bang here. Grew up in the type of nuke we were talking about the other day where everything was paper thin, and this is just cheeky, isn't it? Okay, well, that was a buy. And Simple, very, very frustrated here. This is not going Na'Vi's way whatsoever. Not only are G2 playing confident Counter-Strike, those little details that they nade the toe of Electronic, right? They've done their homework.
And you know how good it feels when you've done your homework and it pays off. Just like that, MPL down on the cross. Nico collects. Na'Vi. Don't forget how this started as well with a promising pistol, and now they're just feeling deflated.
Yeah, a little detail in this round. I think G2 also forced a gap in that smoke wall. You could see the cluster of smokes outside, so Na'Vi trying to get down secret quickly here. They can't even get away with that.
Just as we're talking about, you know, G2 being able to profit from their homework, well, there's another example of something that they've executed perfectly, as Hunter does take another one down. 12 rounds in the bag, semi-finals, 4 rounds away for G2.
And this, after their strong performance towards the tail end of the first half, is 8 on the trot here. Blade taking the second time out of Nuke so far for the Na'Vi side, and this would be some of the last opportunities Na'Vi have to try and make a dent here. Loss bonus is maxed out, great, but you need to be looking to convert some of these rounds. Now, sure, only 4 have gone past in this second half, and Na'Vi actually got off to a 5-round lead on their CT side. Doesn't necessarily mean it's the end of the world, but just in the way that a lot of these scenarios are going down here, G2 seem to be swelling with more and more confidence and getting away with absolutely everything. This was just a lighter buy. They've dealt with a pistol, 2, well, an eco and a lighter purchase, and then 1, it wasn't even a full gun round. It was definitely missing a couple of upgrades, that's for sure.
Doesn't get fuller than this, though. Simple absent, a single nade, and we're all ready to rock into Na'Vi's first full gun round. Let's go and see. Now that first engagement is likely. Hooksy? Hooksy, how does he know? It's wide open. Perfecto down, gets the instantaneous trade, and lobby is theirs. That smoke should lock him out. They got no way in.
He did this on Inferno, an aggressive CT maneuver, barreling down mid into second, being an absolute nuisance, and having lobby control with so much time. I'm curious how long they want to stay here for. The trade would be Na'Vi taking all this yard space, but Nico's tucked in towards the top of secret. So your best bet would be trying to wrap heaven, but JKS is dealing with that right now.
It's a sick hold.
They will likely be able to isolate Hooksy here, but that's assuming m0NESY misses.
One-way dropped as well. Bit. Put a couple of pre-fired bullets through, but won't have vision on Nico. So m0NESY's trying to support Hooksy, but he will fall off after the miss. Will happily send his in-game leader down the river. And still hits the shot onto Electronic. A re-smoke. Oh my god, they're going to have to respect it. Mollied him out. Smoke will cover. Spray finds nothing. Nico, though, just as Bit looked away. Everything going G2's way.
This is some cocky Counter-Strike, right? It's well put together. It's not
calculated, but cocky.
Yeah, it's not your face-it games where the guy who plays 400 hours of deathmatch is just holding W. This is well considered, but they know when they can take the fights, and Simple's finally found one. MPL heard. He's going to be dead any second now, removed by Nico, and now Nico gets the final fight, but Simple for the clutch, 1 on 3.
Got this one, JKS to deny, and perfect. Absolutely perfect. G2's pace changes, they always hit you a little different. Hooksy, you could see how cavalier he was. Straight out main into Squeak. Look at the timing, 1:45, the door is off, and he's in. And it's just Perfecto, they take contact and trade. At that point, the round, with m0NESY hitting shots like these, I mean, you can count on him to hit those, then you can take over the world. G2, 13, 3 rounds away as this countdown continues.
I think you can only sit here and be in awe of the level of performance that we've seen from G2 here today. And I know that this is consistent, right, for them this year, but it's baffling that it continues. You know, there's such thing as too much of a good thing. And when will that day come for G2? Well, right now, it doesn't even look possible. Na'Vi, third time out, maybe to cool off or maybe to discuss this somewhat forced buy. Couple of Tech 9s, a Mac 10, a Deagle, and MPL into a Galil. He actually shoved all in, did MPL. I mentioned earlier, max loss bonus in play, and no plants within these first 5 rounds, which means no extra cash injection. G2 looking here like they're going to secure their 10th nuke in a row. Undefeated on nuke since Hooksy and JKS have joined, and I don't think that's going to change here today.
Certainly showing no signs of slowing. Neither was Bit, as it's actually Perfecto, excuse me, catching the nade into the top side. Bit and him combine as Hooksy and Hunter repel. Trades favor G2. m0NESY hits the last, and that is a round done. How quick was that? So many frags. 7 frags in about 10 seconds.
Everybody dead. That happened so quick. Okay, well, doubled the score now. 7 to G2's 14. And
very intrigued as to the call from Hooksy there. I just picked up on give me org, give me org. Does that imply a different setup that means the AWP's going elsewhere? Is he going to be doing the job that prefers the scope? We'll see and investigate the G2 setup as this indomitable nuke, as you said, looking for their 10th in a row. Here comes Hunter versus Perfecto, a big one for the opening. Evades the spray and gets down the vent, a big frag as he just tried to hold on to that vent hole. Didn't quite deliver on the lethality, and now Perfecto's making him nervous. He's hearing doors, smokes, forces the rotate. Has to acknowledge the presence, and he's already disappeared. Perfecto just trying to weaken the numbers on that top side. Nico's still responsible for Yard. It's between him and Bit as it currently stands. And honestly, versus Simple, a head-to-head, I'm sure Simple wouldn't want to look at the figures.
Well, Nico has yard control right now. It's going to be on JKS. If they can deal with him, and well, Nico's dealing... Oh, should have been dealing with that. Don't often see him miss those type of shots.
He's been using the M4A4. I think he's just not used to that A1S.
And they've... Oh, I thought they gave up ramp. Hooksy's still here, remember?
He does deliver. Can he get away safely? The answer, a resounding yes, and that's if he wants to. He's got JKS to count upon. It's only a pistol. The bomb. Oh, great shot from NPL. Maintains the advantage, but could lose the bomb here. JKS flashed and not dead. Somehow he gets away with that one, and the impact is felt as a 1v1 between two of the smartest in the server, m0NESY and Perfecto. Bomb and time against Perfecto. So he scooped up the bomb, and he's heading towards that top site. m0NESY, he had an early glance decon. I think he's solved the mystery now. With 10 seconds left, if he's silent about this. Gets the sound. Safe plant. m0NESY will crawl. Closes the gap. One bullet. One single bullet to the center of mass for 15. Flash. And frag. Safe as houses. As 15 secure m0NESY, and G2 will not relent. A flawless CT half.
This is beautiful stuff right here. The fact they haven't dropped a single round. That was the first time Na'Vi have gotten the bomb down in this second half of play. That was the closest round they've had thus far. And it was easy as you like for m0NESY there. 21 kills for the young gun in the grand final last year, alongside Hunter and Nico. But they couldn't get it done this time. They're just going to fly straight through to that semi-final in 1 round's time. 10 nukes in a row. 10 series in a row.
I mean, it's flawless in every single way you cut it. And let's see if they can end it with a flawless CT half. G2 look untouchable right now. Na'Vi look completely out of their depth, and that is not something I've said ever. Smoke wall established and successful. Nico's around, and a flash to set him up. Doesn't have to take the fight upon it, but has a little glance. It's Bit versus Nico, and the first frag is G2's. Just a smoke to reposition. Play upon the fade. Lovely angle he's got here. Nico, a master of his craft. And he wants more. Electronic. Simple, but damage inflicted. A good one back from Na'Vi. m0NESY refuses to let them leave with an advantage. Catch is Simple. Electronic slipped, only for a moment, and it's Na'Vi about to concede. G2 to do it. 10 nukes in a row. 17 maps in a row. They are untouchable until NPL gets the craziest clutch of his life. I don't think so. m0NESY can end at any moment he wishes. Waits for JKS. From the lobby, NPL distracted. Not the 1v4. Not at all. G2 stay perfect, stay untouchable, and sail to the semis of Katowice. The Spodek will see G2 once more. 17 maps, sure, but 10 series in a row. That semis secure. G2 one win away from the back-to-back grand final appearance.
Who is going to touch this team? Heroic on the other side of things, looking unstoppable as well. A fantastic performance against Vitality today. 2 heavy hitters still here in IEM Katowice, and looking shell-shocked in Na'Vi. What a performance from G2.
I mean, JKS was here last year in a different jersey. Now, he's in his team, he's in his element, And so are G2. You talk about heroic, you're right, the way they play, it has similar echoes to what it looks like in G2 in the server as well. They look so good. Imagine seeing them intersect and interact. Hooksy gotta be feeling great about the start to the year he's having, leading titans of the game to great success against Na'Vi no less. 2-0 and a happy Nico. We're going to be hearing from him shortly, I'm sure.
Well then, G2 has Navi's number and we're victorious again. We've got Hunter here to talk about it. Was this one different than the previous nukes you played against them?
Yeah, I think it was different because we started really bad. They were leading 5-0, but we knew that we did the mistakes in those 5 rounds, and because of our individual mistakes, we lost a couple of them, but we didn't give up and we just kept fighting, and we knew that we'll bounce back because confidence is everything. We have it now and hopefully we'll have it in the future more.
I mean, you say confidence, I think that's the key word. You guys look amazing right now. How do you make sure you don't become overconfident and you don't slip? How do you guys make sure of that?
I mean, we are adults, everyone except Monesi, obviously. We have experience and we have experienced players in the team who went through a lot of things, and we know what we should do to not get overconfident, because we know and we are aware of it, that it can be dangerous for us if we do it. So step by step, game by game, and yeah, we are only thinking about who is the next opponent.
Right, and speaking of opponent, do you feel, or how do you feel like the opponents react around you right now, guys? Do you feel like you have an aura? Do you feel people fear you, play different against you?
Maybe not fear, I don't know, maybe they do, but I don't think players like Simple, Electronic, or anyone from FaZe Clan, they are fear of us. It's just like, I think they respect us, and obviously when you beat them a couple times like in a row in just 1 month, and especially 2-0, of course is different, but we know that everyone wants to beat us now. We are, since yesterday, top 1 team in the world on HLTV rankings. We won all games this year and it was all of them 2-0. So of course everyone wants to beat G2 or even take a map. So we know that and we are aware of it, as I said. So yeah, we respect all the opponents. Like, of course we cannot underestimate Navi or FaZe or any team in the world. And yeah, step by step, as I said.
Well, FaZe isn't here anymore. They got knocked out, unfortunately, so you won't have to underestimate them. When it comes to being in the game, watching it, we were watching it in the green room, and you kind of feel like you're watching a team that is in on a hot streak, obviously. Like, everything seems to work. How much fun is it to know that everything just works with the team? Because I feel like you can try a lot more than you usually would because it seems to work out.
Yeah, I mean, when I sit and play here, I feel like I'm playing practice, like there is no pressure at all. I mean, CS is game of confidence, and we got it since Abu Dhabi when we won Blast World Finals, and we are just like working on top of it, and we are trying to always improve, to fix our mistakes, even though we win like pretty easy some games. We are always trying to see what we did bad, what we can do better for the next time. And yeah, I mean, I have great teammates around me and great players individually, so everything is easier when everyone is shooting really good. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
You guys seem to be able to convert any hard situation, any 50-50 situation, 10 seconds on the clock, it feels like everything is going your way. How have you gotten to that point? Have you practiced it in a specific way? Is it a matter of confidence?
I think everything is confidence. Like, if we are now winning everyone and winning 2-0, it can happen that tomorrow we can lose 10 games in a row. It can happen because there's a lot of teams in the world right now, and we shouldn't be overconfident, as I already said. We shouldn't be like, okay, we are the best team in the world right now. We just won 1 event. We are doing so far good this year, but we need to, and we can show a lot more.
All right, to end up the interview then, let's talk about the Spodek a little bit. You booked your ticket now to the semi-final, and yeah, it's always a great experience for any CS player to play in that arena. How much are you looking forward to showing the play that you have, but doing it in front of all the fans in the Spodek?
I mean, I was always enjoying Spodek. I was playing 2 times there, like 2 years in a row, kinda, like when we don't count COVID era. But first time I played without crowd, so it was a bit strange. Second time, it was last year, I was playing in front of crowd, and I was feeling amazing, honestly, and I was always having good games on stage, so hopefully I will continue my individual level, and of course now with my really good teammates, hopefully we will keep going. But yeah, I mean, stage is something different. It doesn't mean anything comparing to this thing now when we play like just in studio. So yeah, I'm looking forward because I know Spodek will be full and we'll have a lot of fans who are supporting us throughout the years. We didn't have that many trophies to make them happy, but yeah, nowadays I think everyone is looking forward to see us on stage and to see us playing against everyone.
Okay.
Fair enough.
We're certainly looking forward to it. Thank you so much, Hunter.
Thank
We're
you
gonna
too.
let you go, and you can go that way.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Always nice to hear from Hunter and just G2 in general. And confidence, we heard it over and over and over and over. And I think it really just boils